What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the I'm Not Lucky, I'm Blessed podcast, the show where we celebrate young entrepreneurs and their achievements, and then we inspire up and coming entrepreneurs to make profit using their passion. And as usual, I'm your host, Lucky the Most. Enjoy the show. Episode 121. Guys, if this is your first time listening to the podcast, I want you guys to like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment. That will help us grow and, reach out to more audience. But with that said, in this podcast, we believe success leaves clue. That has been our quote, but today I'm going to change it up a little bit due to the guests we have. So this is one of my favorite quotes in life. It says, "Everyone is self-made, but only the success will agree that they are self-made." And what do I mean? It's like we're responsible for what we end up being in life, but only the successful will say, "Oh yes, I'm self-made." But those that are not successful will never agree that they are responsible for wherever they end up in life, because they always want to blame someone. And today we have a special guest in the building that is self-made, self-taught, everything self, you understand, right? Our guest today goes by the name Naisha. She owns Princess Nay Beauty Salon in Saugus, and she's here to share her story with us, how she started, during COVID, something that just happened to be, part a fun thing. Now she's making money out of it. She's here to tell us a story, what inspired her, and so we can all learn from her and then apply it in our various endeavors and businesses. So guys, help me welcome on today's episode Naisha.
Thank you. I feel so special.
Oh, you are special. Don't worry. This is your show, okay? I'm gonna call this Naisha's story.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Okay.
How does that sound?
Sounds good to me. Let's get into it.
Okay. So, why Princess Nay Beauty?
So it's actually Princess Nai, because my name is Naisha, and so
gotcha.
like on Instagram, my handle is Princess Nai, and so I was thinking I got to come up with something that nobody has. Obviously, when you start, like, I want to get my LLC and stuff like that, so I wanted to get something that nobody had, and just stuck.
I like it. Like
Thank
I said,
you.
like I told you earlier on, I thought it meant like, this is a place for princesses, you understand, right? Like they are your princesses and that's how you treat them, you understand?
I mean, yeah, my clients know they get princess treatment. I spoil them. I do a lot for them. I love them. But that wasn't really like
The goal.
yeah, that wasn't why I named it that. It was really just my name.
Yeah.
But yeah, they always get princess treatment because that's how I like to be treated. So you come to me, you spend your money with me, you're gonna get treated.
Been there. I've been there.
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah. The other,
but that was when I first moved.
Okay.
Now you have to come back because it's like it looks so much better. Did you see the video on Instagram?
No, I haven't seen it.
You have to see when we get off of this, because it showed like what it looked like before.
Yeah.
There was ugly carpet. There was desks built into the wall, and I was like, no, take those desks out, and then I'll sign the lease. And then I had to work from scratch. So we have like, my sign is up, my furniture and stuff. It's not fully done, but it's like, I would say like 90-95% done. So you'd be like, wow, it looks so much better.
That's good. You have like sanitary pads and all that in there. I'm just wondering, like, what made you have these things in you have snacks, but also you have like sanitary pads and.
Oh yeah. Because as women, like, sometimes they come from work.
Yeah.
They might have kids. Yeah. They might, I don't know what they have going on. So you come to relax. You come to spend your money. Like, getting your nails done is self-care. Getting your eyelashes done, getting a facial, you're supposed to unwind. It's a time for yourself where you get to, like, I feel like I'm a therapist. They talk to me about like what's going on in their life. I talk to them about what's going on in my life. So you might not have had time to eat real quick. So I have little snacks for you, where most of my clients are women. So if you might be on your way here and you got your period, that happens. So I have pads for you. I have tampons. I have wipes. Go to the bathroom, take a second, get a snack. You're probably hangry. Get a little snack. I had to get Advil. I keep forgetting to get that, but they might have cramps. I have like a heated blanket.
Yeah.
I got you, girl. Just relax. Get your nails done. You have two hours with me, and we're just gonna make the time out of it. So
make the most out of it.
Yeah, like eventually when I get my little mini fridge, I'll probably have like, some little refreshments, some wine or whatever. But I just feel like I provide luxury. Yeah. It's a luxury service. You're paying a luxury price, in my opinion. I'm not cheap by any means. So you're going to get a luxury service. You're going to have different, I would say, amenities that come with it. So
I love it.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? Like, what inspired that? Is it the way you wanted to be treated, or like, is it like, yeah, have you ever been in a situation where these things happened to you and the salon you went to didn't have it, so you're like, you know what, I would love to do it in my own place, or you just
No, not really, because honestly, I've always been into beauty, so I've always done my own hair. I learned how to do nails.
you made this hair yourself?
Yeah, I always do my own hair. I actually was a hairstylist. I worked at a salon for like about a year. When was that? Like 2021
Yeah.
into 2022. I couldn't do it. It was too stressful. But I know how to do hair. I know how to do nails. I studied like lash extensions. I didn't really take it serious, which we could talk about that too. But yeah, so I always did my own like self-care.
Yeah.
One thing that I wanted to do, but like I never had the luxury of like spending the money, was going to get facials. Like I felt like my skin wasn't good. I wanted to get facials done. And that's such like a luxury thing. Like you're going into a spa and you feel like, wow, I get to unwind, and you're like taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
So I feel like that was something that I wanted. And so maybe that kind of manifested itself into my business, and that's why I kind of give off that spa, like luxury spa experience.
Yeah.
But like obviously it's not a spa. You're just getting your nails done. But
yeah.
I try to have those things. Like when you think of like a luxury spa, you think of like you walk in and you get champagne, or
Yes.
you go to like the Louis store. They're gonna give you a glass of champagne because you're going to spend money.
Yeah.
So you're not spending Louis prices with me, but I want to treat you like that. You know what I mean? So when they come, my clients want to come back, because even after just one time of seeing me, they might have had an appointment with another nail tech and they canceled on them, and they probably didn't plan on coming back to me. They just need it for that one time. But they're going to come to me. They're going to love my experience. They're going to probably love me, and they're going to want to come back. So yeah, I always get them. I reel them in, and they never want to leave.
School?
What did I study? Yeah. It's crazy. I was going to school for chemical engineering.
Really?
Yeah. I wish I did business because I didn't finish, but I loved, my thing is like math, science, and like physics, chemistry. I'm a big nerd.
Really?
But yeah. But I was really good at beauty. So I should have took that more serious.
Beauty, and you mixing both of them. It would be nice to mix both of them,
Yeah, right?
Beauty with a brain.
Yeah, well, we might see that in the future. Who knows? Only God knows.
Only God knows.
But yeah.
I love that. Okay, so thanks for sharing that with us. But now, like, the question is, what inspired you to, become a nail technician? What was the story like? How did you start?
How did I start? Okay.
Yes.
So we'll take it back to 2020.
2020.
So before like March, like mid-March, when everything got shut down, I was working at Margarita's. It's like a Mexican restaurant, and I was a server, and I hated it. You work weekend nights, it's long hours, I'm on my feet, and just moving around. And of course, I'm young at the time. 2020, how old was I? Like 22, 23.
Yeah.
And so, I'm young. I wanted to party and stuff. This is kind of like before I gave my life to God and stuff. So I wanted to party, but I couldn't, because I would work weekend nights. I couldn't do much. So when everything got shut down, I'm like, oh, great. I don't have to go to work. I love that, right?
Yep.
And so I was thinking, I'm like on TikTok and stuff like that. Everybody keeps talking about businesses. They kept talking about LLC TikTok and everything.
Yeah, there was a point where
LLCs was like the biggest thing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, I need to start an LLC. I need to be about my bag, So I'm like, I don't want to go back to work. This is what I thought. I thought in COVID, I'm going to get an LLC. I'm going to start a business, and I'm going to be like $1 million babe. Like, don't got to work, self-made, everything. So I'm thinking I'm going to be a self-made millionaire. Of course, it didn't happen just then. It still didn't happen yet, but it will.
Yeah, it's a journey, man. That's the funny thing. We think million comes in a week or
some
a few
people
years.
It does, but not everybody. That wasn't my story.
Yeah.
It will be my portion. It just hasn't come yet. So whatever. So I'm thinking, okay, how can I get out of my 9-to-5 job? So I'm getting unemployment, and we all know how that was booming. The stimulus checks. They were hitting good. Man. So I was like, okay, let me use this money, start a business. Exactly, right? If only we could go back. So I had my stimulus checks, and like I told you, like I was always into beauty and everything like that. So at the time, that was before I started working at the hair salon, but I loved doing hair. So I was like, oh, let me start like a wig business, because I always wear wigs and everything. And I at the time I would do installs for people. Like I would install them on people, but like not too much.
Yeah.
But I was like, all right, I'm going to start a wig company. So I started it. I started buying the stuff. I bought wigs, and it was a full-fledged wig business. I started it with the my unemployment checks and everything. and it was doing really well. I called it Ready to Wear Wigs because it was a concept that nobody has ever done or that I have never seen, and I'm like a wig buyer, like, so I know. So basically it would be like a wig that would come to me. I would buy it from my vendor. I tried out the vendors. The hair was so good. I still have some of my wigs from 2020. The hair is still great. So I would customize the wig. If you wanted it curled, I would curl it and do like a pin curl. So like, you ever seen somebody when they get their hair curled and then it's like pinned up?
Yeah.
So you could just take it out later and it will fall.
Yeah.
Like it would come like that and on a wig head, and I would ship it to you in a box so that when you get your wig, like you just take them out and you just put on your head and you just go. Like literally it came with everything that you needed to install it. It had like the little edge brush, a little eyebrow razor so you could cut the lace. I had the little Got2b mini spray and the little gel so you could do like your little install, whatever. And also people that were in Mass, if you were like in the Boston area, it came with a free install. So if you bought the wig from me, I would install it for you one time, like a free install. So it was a great business. It was doing good. But then what a lot of people don't know about is that, you know how the supply chain was messed up around that time with COVID and everything.
Delivery.
So a lot of things were like slow, back or whatever. So my vendor never had any wigs in stock. Like there was a shortage on lace wigs. So my vendor didn't have anything in stock. I couldn't really put anything on my website. So I was still trying to keep the business going because people were still ordering from me. Wow. And my last order was like a disaster. I tried another vendor that I heard was really good. It was a girl's birthday and everything. So I ordered the wig and it never came. So so I filed a dispute with my bank, but obviously they don't give you the money right away. So I bought another wig for the girl, did her hair and everything. Or no, I had wigs from like my vendor because, you know, I had to buy a bunch to like start, but she wanted a blonde one. So I didn't have a blonde wig. So I was like, hey, I'll give you your money back and I'll just give you this wig because I'm very big on customer service. Like, so I don't play about that. So still to this day, I haven't been selling wigs since like 2020, 2021. The girl still every year is like, do you sell wigs? Like she loves me because of that customer service. So I gave her one of the wigs that I was going to have for myself or like, you know, just one of the black ones. And I did her hair for her because I was like, it's your birthday. I would never leave you like that. So gave her money back and everything. But so then that fizzles out because
kind of you, you know?
You know, I'm a nice girl.
You're a good life.
I'm a nice girl. You know, I try to be. But
wow. I never knew that.
You didn't know that? What do you mean? I'm mean to you?
No, you're nice. That's why you're here. Okay. Just kidding.
you're gonna
walk up and be like, okay, I'm.
What do you mean? But no, so then that didn't work out. So then how did I start from that to doing nails? You're probably wondering. Like, I thought she said she's a nail tech. So, I'm still sitting at home. It's still COVID.
Thinking of a plan B.
I'm like, I still got to get rich. I don't want to go to work. But not really. Technically, okay, I was just bored. And I was just on TikTok scrolling. And then I would just see people on live, like, doing nails. And I would get hooked. Like, I would just be watching it. And I was like, oh, I just feel like I could do that. Like, I don't know. But it was like a hobby. So I bought this stuff. I bought like the kit to do nails. And it's, if you see like on my Instagram or my TikTok, I pinned like my first probably year of doing nails. Like it's like one of my first videos. And it was terrible. Like my little sister, God bless her heart, she let me do my first set on her and it was so ugly. But, you know, they do say practice makes perfect and it's true. So 3 years ago, I don't know what I was doing, and it was just a hobby. Like, I didn't think I was going to do nails, like, seriously, probably until, like, a few months in, I just kept buying stuff. Like, it just became, like, kind of like, I don't know, I was addicted to buying things, and I'm just getting this money from unemployment. I'm bored. So I'm like, okay, let me just buy this. I feel like I want to do this design. I start buying stuff. I accumulate all this stuff, and I'm like low-key like a fully functioning salon, just me, myself, just in my room. And then at this point, like back then I didn't have a car. And so my uncle would always come over and he'd be like, girl, where's your car? And I'm like, what do you mean? You're looking at it. Like all my stuff right here is my car. Like I invested so much money in this. And then I just took it serious at that point. I wasn't the best. I even kind of like, I didn't really have people willing to do like actual nail sets. So I would do press on nails, which is like, you can go to the store, you can buy press on nails, and you can also get like custom press on nails. So I was making them custom. and I was making them for people, but people weren't really buying. But it was my way to like work on designs instead of the actual like acrylic application.
Yeah.
So like when you came in, when I was doing Tenny's nails, like I was like almost done. But if you see like the acrylic application, it's a lot because it's like you know how water moves and flows. It's kind of like that. Like you have to control the acrylic. So as a beginner nail tech, it's so hard, and it was looking bad. So I would just do the press on nails because you're not working with acrylic. You're kind of painting over like a nail that's already made. And I don't know. I used to be able to draw when I was younger, but I didn't know that I had that talent. So it's like a hidden talent that
drawing, right?
Yeah, like doing the designs, painting the stuff, because it's just a clear nail and you just do like the different designs. So that wasn't even doing that well, honestly. For the first year, nothing was going really good. And yeah, I just kept going.
And what, before I even ask any question, let's go back to the first business you started. Okay?
Yeah.
Because first, shout out to you, man. During COVID,
thanks.
you were like, I gotta make this money on this thing.
Yeah, I'm like, let me not get back to work. I need to come up with something.
You're like, I gotta make some boss move here, I don't want to get out of COVID, But shout out to you for betting on yourself, investing in yourself. That's like the biggest thing you can do in life, you understand, right?
Exactly.
Is saying, I believe in myself to buy this for myself and, put myself through this. That was huge. And the first business you started selling wigs, I want to know, like, how much, do you have an idea of how much you invested in your first purchase? You understand? Like, how was that process like, when you, like, how much did you spend starting that business?
I would say around maybe give or take $5,000.
Wow.
Yeah, because I bought about 10 wigs.
Yeah.
Each of them are about like $300.
Really?
So that's already like $3,000 that we're talking about. Yes,
Wigs
$300.
ain't that expensive?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Well, we'll say like it depends on the length.
Yeah.
But we'll say 300 for like the range. And then the supplies I have to buy to make the wigs. It's not a lot when you think about it, but you have to get like you have to get the packaging. That's another thing.
Yeah, how did you do that? How did you?
So my packaging was pretty expensive because it was a literal box. I had to put in like the bubble wrap so that the wig isn't moving around.
Yep.
I had to get a wig head and the pins and all that. So it was more expensive. So my wigs were pretty expensive, I'm not going to lie. But that's why I was like, okay, if you're in the Boston area, I make it worth your while. You get a free install. Yeah. Installs could be anywhere from $100 to $300. And you're getting that just paying for the wig. So you might spend $450 on the wig, I'm not going to lie. But you're going to get it all together.
And it lasts long too.
Yeah.
I feel like people would pay for something if it's good. You get it, right? People will pay any amount for a good service. You get it, right?
Yes.
People will pay for, if they know that yes, this is good value. People even like expensive stuff than even cheap stuff. Like if you had like gotten like cheap wigs and was selling for like $100, people will be like, nah, I don't think this is a real deal. But the fact that the boxing you said wasn't ordinary, spent your time with the boxing, the service and all that. Like people see that. It's like, oh wow, she's taking a lot of time away from us, and then it's like, for the convenience, I'm charging you this amount. Does that make sense, right? Mm-hmm. We'll pay anything to save time. I'd rather spend money than spend time on something.
Well, that's what I learned because on TikTok, there was also business TikTok. So they teach you all these things. You literally hit all the points. So basically, you don't ever want to sell yourself short because you said, like, if I sold the wig for $100, if it's cheap, they're going to think, what's wrong with that? Yes. It could be the best quality, they're going to think, okay, I know what wigs usually cost, so why is that one this price? It's probably not going to last that long. So as a business person, you have to have that business mindset. You have to price yourself appropriately and against your competition. You can, if you're starting out, you can do a little bit of like a discounted rate, but not too much. You don't want to be too low because people are going to say, what's wrong with this? Also, just because you're expensive doesn't mean that people aren't going to buy from you. Because you have to have your target audience. So my target audience are not young kids. Young kids are not going to come to me because I charge a lot. Okay, maybe if it's like a little rich kid, maybe, but I target people that are in working class, my age, business professionals, maybe a little bit older, and they put value in self-care. So those are the things that they value in life, is getting a new wig that makes them happy. They value having a wig that's going to last them a long time. When I had those wigs, I was basically, whenever you start a business, you want to think, how am I going to solve a problem? Because you can't just start a business and think people are just going to buy from you. It has to, like, if you want to be successful, you have to think, am I solving a problem? What value am I adding to the people? That's going to be your selling point. It's not just the product. You need to give them a reason why they want to come from you, because they can go anywhere, right?
Yep.
So for me, I was like, okay, how am I going to stand apart? Nobody's giving a wig on a wig head. Maybe now, I think I saw like one person the other day and I was like, oh, wow, that's crazy, because I hadn't seen that in all my years of buying wigs. So I'm like, okay, you're going to get the wig. This is for somebody that wants to wear wigs, but they can't. They don't know how to do it. They're not good at beauty. Like me, it comes naturally, but other people, like, they need the help. There's girls that they love beauty, but they don't know how to do it. They always got to pay somebody to do something, but they might not want to do that, or they want something that they could do for themselves. So I was thinking, okay, let me cater to those girls that they can get the wig and they'll say, I can just put it on my head. Like, I literally have the bare minimum. I even had, I started my YouTube channel, my own YouTube channel, because I know I was telling you about the one with my best friend from one earlier. But yeah, so I started my own personal one because I was doing wig tutorials. So I was showing them my wig and I was like, this is how you put it on your head. You're going to get it this way, and this is how you install it, and it's going to take you 10 minutes. So you can go in and out. You could literally be on your way out to the club tonight, and you just pop it on and go. Wow. So yeah, and then I showed it for girls that, you know, they're a little bit more advanced. They might want to do the glue and do more like a permanent style, or the girls that literally just want to throw it on, do a little got to be, and just be out the door. So I did my tutorials, and yeah, I thought it all through. Like, when you think about it, I didn't go to school for business, but I was like, all right, I'm gonna do a business, and I want to do it right. So yeah.
I love that.
Thank you.
So that was the wig business. Started with, like, you know, 5Gs. What was like a, you know, like, how much profit, you know, can you know, give us example, even if you don't get the exact amount, like, you know, were you making profit from it, and was it like something that you could leave on, you know, the profit you were making, or it's like, it's not a lot?
No, so I would say if you're gonna have a wig business, I would say definitely whatever you buy your wig for, you gotta add on your cost of shipping, the packaging, basically anything that goes into what you're doing before they get the wig. You have to add that into the price, and then you have to add on your profit on top of that, because that's basically just like the daily expenses. So that doesn't even count as profit. So your own profit, I would say, because it is a luxury service, you can add on like $150 on top of all that. If you find a good vendor, like when you buy in bulk,
they give you,
it's cheaper. So you can make a bigger profit. You might not, it might sound like a lot, like putting on $150, but the people are paying for the fact that you're not just getting the wig and just selling them the wig. Like in my case, they're paying for what I could do. It was beautiful. Like I was creating art, you know, they would take down the curls and they would feel beautiful. It's not just, I give you the wig straight. You can't charge $150 extra for that. You know what I mean? That's basically like private labeling. But when you're doing your own craft and people are paying for that, they see like, wow, she makes this wig beautiful. I'm gonna get it and I'm gonna look like that girl, you know? Then you can charge them that $150 because that's your expertise, because they don't know how to do it. So they're paying for your expertise.
That's what they're paying for, honestly. Yeah.
And basically the craft and, you know, just the whole illusion, how they feel when they get your product. So I would say to be successful, put on that $150 on there, as long as you're good. If you're still working on it, then you need to be discounted. Don't be starting with $150.
I know, and you're not even.
Yeah, but like, you know, it has to make sense. So I would say, you know, if you're doing, let's say you're selling 10 wigs a week and it's $150 that you're making off each wig, that's good. That's good money. So, yeah.
That's dope. So first business didn't work out the way you wanted it. How did you feel? Were you sad, discouraged?
Yeah, all that. I was like, my heart was crushed because, you know, it's not like it was in my hands. It was out of my control. So that's why I had to let it go and just let God, because at that point, it's not like I failed. My business didn't fail because of me, which also is a different type of pain. It's a different type of heartbreak, because you feel like, wow, that's my fault. But I had no control over COVID. I had no control over the fact that people want the wigs. I have the demand for it, but I can't get the wigs. Nobody can barely get any wigs. Like, all the sites were dry. You see my wig right now, how it looks like it's coming out of my scalp? That's because it's lace. So back in 2020, they didn't have these lace wigs. They were selling U part or V part wigs. Yes, this is a wig.
I thought it was a hair.
Because it's supposed to look like that. You're not supposed to know.
Thanks for
so yeah, don't look too close. Okay, now you're gonna know. But no, so so basically in 2020 they didn't have like lace wigs, which makes it look very natural. So they would do like, it's like the wig, but you would have to leave your hair out. So if you think about it, my hair isn't this silky. Even when I blow dry it, straighten it, if I step out in the rain for 1 second, I'm going to have a mini afro up here. Yeah. So girls don't really want to buy those wigs. Those are more for beginners, but like if you have natural hair, then girl, that's not really going to work, you know? So a lot of girls wear closure wigs, which is lace, but it's like a little bit smaller area. For the, you know, the pros, we do like 13 by 4, 13 by 6. So it's the full thing. I can go like this and it looks like it's my hair. You know, you see the baby hair, you see the material.
They did all that in the wig.
Exactly. Wow. So yeah, so that's what I was selling, and we couldn't get those anymore. So it did break my heart. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't even get these wigs. I tried another vendor. They scammed me. So shout out to them, you know, for scamming them. For scamming me. But you know what? It's crazy because that's how I know, like, because I believe in God, right? Yeah. And I know that everything happens for a reason. And when I think back on, like, you know, when you think about like why God does certain things, or you ever see that meme where it's like, you're like, oh my gosh, God, like, why would you let this happen to me? And it's like Jesus is holding back all these rocks and just one rock hit you. And he's like, sorry, did one rock hit you, you know?
And you're like,
and you don't know that.
Yeah.
So when I think back on it, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I was so sad about it. Not that I was like questioning God about it, but I was really sad about it. And foreshadowing, I ended up working at a hair salon and I hated the experience. So he already knew my steps were already ordered, that I wasn't it wasn't going to be sustainable for me to do that long term, to be sitting on top of people's heads doing their hair all the time. I probably wasn't going to like it anymore, especially knowing he already knew that my mind was made up about working at that hair salon, that it was going to burn me out and I wasn't going to want to do it anymore. So in business, or just in life in general, sometimes the path is not always straight. We have obstacles, things don't go our way, and you just have to think like, why is this happening? God only knows why. You just gotta just keep going. Just go with the flow. Just pray to him and he'll show you the way. I love that. Even if you don't pray, he's gonna show you the way. You know what I mean? It's already done. So it is what it is. So
wow, I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So second business.
Yes.
The nails. I want to know, first client, what was it like for you?
My sister.
Like how? Oh yeah. Okay. Let's take this out of the picture. Okay. First money client. Like at what point did you know that I'm good enough to start making money with this? Like, you get right.
That was a long time ago. That was sometime probably in 2020. I have to look through. It's on my TikTok somewhere. I can't even remember my first client, but all I know is I probably was very nervous. Yeah. Trying to make sure I don't like mess anything up, that I don't forget any steps. Because as nail techs, there's like this meme that goes around, and I know every nail tech has had that feeling where like it's like you wake up in the middle of the night
and you think about,
you're like, oh my gosh, did I put primer on her nails? Like, are her nails gonna pop off in a week, you know? But yeah, it's crazy because when I think back to that time period, I didn't have a lot of people to do their nails. It was COVID. So people weren't really going out. I didn't have a client base. I barely had work to post. So if you're not posting, nobody knows about you. Nobody's going to get their nails done. So it was mostly friends and family. But my friends and family are only going to let me mess up their nails so many times. So like, it was nice for them to support me. But
at that stage,
like, because I had so much time to sit at home and watch so many TikToks, I would learn a lot. And then every time I did another set, I would think, okay, what do I want to focus on this time, and try to master it. And I learned by like seeing, but also doing. So I don't know. When I think about it, I'm like, this is a God-given talent, because that's not even something that I really cared to do. It was just like for fun. And then when I saw myself getting good, I was like, oh, I should probably just do this and keep going. So God just kept working in me. I feel like it was him. It wasn't even me doing the stuff, because when you see the transformation in such a short time, especially like all the in that one video, I'm telling y'all, go look at my TikTok, because you're going to see like, it was not even that many people in the first year. And I have the dates like every day that I did those nails, and you could see it, like it got better little by little, little by little, and I wasn't even doing it a lot, and you would think like you need to practice.
Yeah.
So that was God, that wasn't me.
Yeah.
So it's really crazy how that happened.
I like that. So what you're saying is like you didn't even put in enough work like someone who, you know how they say practice every day, practice every day. You weren't even like really practicing a lot. You just did whatever you could.
Yeah, when I had the client or somebody that would just let me do their nails, like I would have a coworker. She supported me a lot, and she would get her nails done. But it's not like I can just keep doing her nails every day.
Yeah.
You know, you got to give it like a couple weeks, and then let's try again. And I did have like a thing called like a practice hand, so it's like a fake hand, but it's so hard to work with. Like sometimes you try to glue the tip on, and it's not going on, like the little nail tip. It doesn't want to stick on. When you're trying to like file and everything, shape the nail, the nail's popping off. It's not holding like a real person's hand. So I hated that thing. I never used it. So I think my practice with the designs was, like I said, the press on nails, because I was doing that on the side too. But the actual like acrylic application, I don't know how I did that. That was God. He wanted me to do that to this day, and I look back on it and I'm like, okay, it makes sense now, because back then it was kind of crazy, and I was feeling myself, I'm not gonna lie, because I could see the improvement, and I was like, wow, I barely practiced, like that's crazy that I could do that, but it was not me. Oh, wow. So
amazing. Testimony of the year.
I know, right? It's crazy. But
so were there any like times where people told you no, you know, like you try to do someone's nail and they're like, nah, we don't want to work with you? In the beginning stage, you get, right, where they're naysayers, people that doubted you and say, hey, I don't think you can do this, you know, you should go do something else with your time.
No, I mean, because it was COVID, so there's nothing else I could do with my time, to be honest. And I wasn't that confident to just ask any and everybody. I wasn't asking people to pay me either. So it'd be like my close friends and family. So they didn't really...
You're doing it for free for them.
Yeah, for free, and just like for fun, you know, like we'll just be in the house. There's nothing else we could do, so let me do your nails. And they're mostly like my little cousins, so we're just having fun in my house, bored. We can't go out, so I'll just do their nails. So they supported me. They were my first supporters. They've been with me since day one, so shout out to them.
Shout out to them. So free, and then at what point did you know that, okay, I can start making money off this now? Let me start charging people for this service.
Honestly, I can't remember like the first client I ever charged, but I know it was definitely like very cheap. It wasn't a lot. And at that point, I think I was confident where I could say, okay, this looks decent compared to like Instagram nails, or the person probably was like a friend or family and they were like, okay, I'll pay you, whatever. But I think that's when I probably had some confidence, because there's no way that at the beginning when it was looking really, really bad, I would have charge anyone now.
I feel you. And like, do you ever look back to your old nails and like, I can't believe I did that?
Not like in shame. I kind of like look at it and I smile, because I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so crazy. Because
like, damn, I've grown.
Yeah, like I look at my work now and like it'll amaze me sometimes. I'm like, wow, I can't believe I really did a set like that. Or like, you don't think about it, because it's like it's work now to me. So I do the work, I go home, I don't think about it, but I'll post it. And then my friends will be like, wow, like, I'm so proud of you. Or they'll see my space now. And like one of my friends, she's like seen like where I've grown. And she's like, wow, like, I can't believe like you got this far. They'll look at my work and be like, you did a great job. Like, I can't believe you did that. And then it'll sink in. And even sometimes, like, you ever think like, we're just on autopilot. Like, I'll be doing somebody's nails and then it'll click like, oh my God, I'm really a nail tech. Like, that's so weird.
It rings
like,
in your head, like,
yeah, I'm like, what? I have a business. People come to me.
Yeah,
like, that's
like,
weird.
Who am I? You understand, right?
Yeah. No, so it's funny.
I've been there. So it's always been like step by step. How did you move from that little space you had in your house? You get right. From there, where did you move to? And then before owning your own store.
We'll take it back to the beginning, right? So in 2020, living at my mom's, I was doing nails in my room. So like the first probably year, I was doing nails in my room. Yeah. Then me and my younger sister, we got an apartment in Canton, and people would come to me in my apartment. But I didn't really have that many clients. So it was a great space because it was in my living room. Nice open space. It was fine. But I didn't really have people coming to me. Yeah. Then the lease was up. Me and my sister would bicker a lot. We would fight a lot. So when the lease ended, we're
You're
like, yeah,
no,
we're not
doing
re-signing this. So yeah. And also at that time, that was around the time that I like quit working at the nail salon. So the money wasn't coming in how it was. So I was like, all right, let me go back to my mom's, figure things out. And I'm going to save some money.
Yeah.
So I moved back to my mom's house, and she had like finished a room in the basement for me. So it was a cute, like, new room, but that's all I had. Yeah. So I had to go back to doing nails in my room. And so the clients that I had in my apartment, I felt so embarrassed having them come into my room.
Yeah.
And I was posting. My work was pretty good at this point. It's not where it is now, because that was about like a year and some change ago. But it was good. So then I had people coming to me, and I cannot believe, like, the people that still come to me, I'm like, wow, you really would come to my room? Because when you think about it, you talk to me through a DM. Yeah. You just see my Instagram page. You talk to me through a DM. I'm like, okay, come at this time, whatever, blah, blah. I'm going to do your nails. You show up. You see me. Hey, come through the garage into the basement.
Yeah.
And, like, at that point, they were still finishing the rest of the basement. So it's an unfinished basement. Yeah. So it's giving, like, Texas Chain Massacre, like, creepy.
You know how we walked in here and you're like,
yeah,
this
like, it's
creepy.
dark in here. Is he going to kill me? You know? So it's like, they're probably thinking, they don't know me. Because these are random people that just see, like, Boston Nail Tech. They click on it. Oh, I like her work. I book with her.
Yeah.
So I would ask them, like, girl, how did you really just come in here with me and trust that I wasn't going to kill you? Because you had to walk through the basement with me, go into my room, and then I close the door, lock the door, and then it's me and you in a room. Exactly. So, like, I'd be like, wow, these girls are kind of crazy. But they're like, no, I trust you. So I don't know how I built that trust with them, because when you have a business, like, now I show my space. I like to show TikToks. I show them. I made a video to show them the before and after of my suite that I have now, so that they know, like, okay, when I come in, I know what to expect, you know? But in my room, I wasn't showing that on the internet. Like, my bed is right there, and then there's the desk. Like, no, we're not doing that. So I don't even know how they trusted me. But I think I just have, like, a warm, welcoming, like,
spirit.
Yeah, atmosphere, that just people give off. So they would come to me, get their nails done, leave, whatever. They would come back. So it's kind of crazy that they would do that. But then my mom was saying how, like, the smell of the monomer, which is basically, like, you have the acrylic powder, but you have, like, the little dish that has the monomer. It's like a liquid. So you dip your brush into the liquid, and then you dip into the acrylic powder. Yeah. Everybody thinks that the smell that's so strong, like, when you walk into a nail salon, they think
I felt it. Thought I was gonna die in there. Oh my God. Swear to God. I was like, oh boy.
My best friend's boyfriend is, like, such a little baby. Like, he cannot be in the room when she's doing her nails. He's like, no, the smell. He'll wear a mask and everything. But I'm used to it. I like the smell. Like, girls like the smell. But, like, a lot of people think, oh, the acetone, they think it's acetone. That's not what is the strong smell. It's the monomer, which is the little liquid that we dip our brush in and then into the acrylic powder. So that monomer smell, like, it's only, like, a little bit of monomer that I'm putting in, but the whole house will smell. Like, upstairs, they'll smell it.
It will go upstairs, too.
It will go upstairs.
Your mom was like...
she'd be like, no. And at that time, I was working, like, an overnight job. It was, like, overnight weekends. So I would go to my overnight job 10 to 8 a.m., take a client probably at, like, 10 a.m., and then I have to immediately go to sleep because I have to, go to my overnight job. And there was one day that I literally woke up out of my sleep because, like, the smell was so strong. And my mom was like, yeah, you can't be doing this. Like, this is not good for you. So then she was like, you know what? I'm going to renovate the garage for you. My beautiful mother, shout out to her. Thank you. She's a real one. So
Mom's a real one, man.
She is, we'll give her props, So she renovated that space for me. And that was, like, I think the end of the summer, like, last year. And so I got all my new stuff. I even had a video where I showed that transformation, and it did some numbers because it's kind of crazy, like, showing, like, from my room, literally you could see my bed. And then
I have my own little garage space.
Yeah, so it's like you don't have to go through the basement.
Little things that matter, you understand, right? Yeah. Honestly.
So we went from there. I was doing that for a while, but my mom needed the space back. So she was telling me, like, hey, eventually I'm going to need that space back. And I was like, the garage is cold sometimes. I would have, like, 2 heaters. Like, me and my clients, we've been through the mud, okay?
I know.
We went
Shout out to
my
your clients,
room.
man.
Shout out to my clients because there's some
They're
real ones, too.
Like,
for real. Like, so I love them. That's why I treat them like princesses, like queens,
They deserve it.
They do.
Yeah.
So I'd have, like, 2 heaters on them, my heated blanket. I'd be shivering, just making sure they're good. So I'm like, no, I can't keep doing this. Like, I cannot go into another winter in this garage. So I knew, like, I always wanted more. I didn't want to be doing nails in my garage. So eventually I knew I had to get out. But then the time came closer. My mom was like, all right, I need the space back. So in May of this year, I signed a lease for my space in Saugus. It's right on Route 1.
Yeah.
Right before you reach like the Square One Mall.
Yeah.
So
what's the name of the building you use?
What is it called? It's
Okay.
yeah, I can't remember.
No problem.
But yeah, it's like right across from the Walmart.
Yeah.
So on the other
It's
side.
a big building. Close to the hotel.
Yes,
like
right next
hotel,
to
right?
the Holiday Inn Express.
Yeah.
And it's a big building. It's like 2 buildings attached by like a bridge.
A bridge, yeah.
And so the way I found that building was random. So God always places people in your life for a reason, right?
I know.
So I have a friend that I met like in college through like my roommate, and she was like living in Bermuda, but she came like back to visit, and so I did her nails. Then she went to get her lashes done, and her lash tech saw her nails, and then she started getting her nails done by me. Oh, wow. So during the time of me doing her nails, we were talking and stuff, and I was telling her like, I gotta get out of here, and she was telling me like, oh, I have my place where I do my lashes. You should talk to the people. Like, it's a good price and you'll be closer to Boston, which is what I was looking for. So then I talked to the people and I was like, I'll take it. I prayed about it. God was like, yeah, go ahead. So he gave me the green light. I took it. So signed that lease in May, and it's been, so we're going the 3rd month.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Did I love about your story is that it's just from little beginnings you get, right? Step. It's like, it's some things that you don't even understand how they got from here to there. You get, right? Some stories. But like you told us how, from a room, you went to a living room, back to a room,
Back to a room.
and then a garage, in the process of being in that garage, and then from a garage to like your own space, your own salon. Like, there's something amazing about that process there, that it builds something in you that, no one can ever take away. You get, right? If you can make it in that cold winter, like, if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. You understand, right? And now that you got your own space, you're comfortable. It just, there's a strength that you build from that, like a mental strength that you build from that someone who don't go through that can never build. And that's why God takes us through this moment, through these phases in our life, because we want quick and easy. You get, right? But it's this Bible scripture that says, he has talked about like he has put us through, like he said, I've put you in like afflictions, but like he's saying he's not using the normal thing, like he's putting us through heat like silver. You get, right? So when we come out of it, like, so it's like there's things that we go through. Sometimes we want to say, oh man, God is not here, God doesn't love us, but it's like, man, I know what I'm putting you through, man. Like, just staying there a little bit, warm up a little bit, because what's coming out is gonna be so hot that if you're not ready for it, you'd quit. You get, right? Yeah. And
no, that's true. And also a big thing about it too is like the journey, you won't appreciate it. If I just got it in one day, somebody just gave me a nail suite and I just had all these clients, I wouldn't appreciate it. But I thought like, I really had those days where I would have no clients. Like I had all this stuff, and my uncle would keep coming to my house like, girl, where's your car? Where's your car?
Why was he asking about the car? That's my
because
question.
I didn't have a car. So he's like, he thinks I look crazy. He's like, you have all this money from unemployment and you spent it on nail stuff.
Oh yeah, you're investing in the wrong thing. You could get a car and
especially like at first it looked good with the hair business because you could see that it was moving, but with the nails I didn't have any clients. So then he would even be telling me to charge my little cousin and my sister that I just made their nails so ugly. He'd be like, no, you need to charge them. And I'm like, no, but God had a plan for me. So I knew like, no, I can't charge him for that, but now he can see the fruits
is like
that I have harvested, but back then, it looked crazy. So I had those times where my uncle would come over and be like, where's your car? And I'd be like, you're looking at it. I already told you that. It's right there. And nobody could see the vision. I was the only one that could see it. I had times where I was like, wow, I need that money, but it's already invested and I'm like struggling a little bit and I had no clients. And to now I have clients. I'm still not exactly where I want to be, but it's coming, And like somebody was telling me like, when I was saying, okay, I'm trying to get ready for my suite, and they're like, no, stop talking like that. Say you already have your suite and just start preparing yourself. Just start buying the stuff. You don't know when you're going to get your suite, but when God gives you those clients, you're going to, if you don't have the stuff prepared, you're going to be looking crazy. Yeah. So it's like, I had to prepare myself for it. I had to just start thinking, how do I want my suite to look? What do I want for that? Even though I didn't know I was going to be in it yet. I didn't know when. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I didn't even know where the location was, but I just had to envision it. I knew, like, yeah, that's just basically what you got to do. When they say manifestation, I don't manifest it. I pray about it, and I just ask God, if it's in your will, it will happen the way that He wants it to happen. But you do have to put some work behind it. You can't just expect it's just going to happen. And like we said, there's going to be some obstacles, but you're going to appreciate it. You're going to say, wow, like, I really went through all this, and look at me now.
And then you end up saying, thank you, Jesus. You know, like,
oh yeah,
you look at it and say, thank you, God, for taking me through this. I would have never want to go through any other route.
Exactly, because I can say now, there's not a lot of people that can say that their clients really went to their room in the basement and did their nails.
That's a level of closeness too with your clients.
Yeah, that's literally showing people like I have a very close friend. Shout out to Cassandra, and like, she's gotten me so many clients, like her friends, and I've become friends with her friends. She was one of the people that came to my room like over a year ago, and I celebrated my birthday this past month, and she was at my birthday dinner, and we were talking about that, like, and we keep thinking about that, like, wow, we really started like a year ago. You were coming to my room, you were supporting me, getting your nails done by me, and we really became close. So it's kind of crazy, like, the people that God puts in your life. And if I wasn't in my room, I probably would have never met her. Or like, when I would think about, oh my God, that was such a waste of time going to Canton, having an apartment there. I had a client from there that got Cassandra, that got so many other people. So I think that girl too, like, when it's her birthday, she don't pay for nails, because I'm like, you've been with me since I was in Canton.
I would easily do that for you.
Yeah, like, what? No, it's your birthday gift. Like, I appreciate you. I love you. You got me so much money from that. So I think about those times. I'm like, wow, probably didn't want to do that, but it had to happen, because look at what came from that struggle. So
I want to share my story with you a little bit. So there's this thing I came across. It's called, so what's the topic? So the guy who found a LinkedIn a book he wrote, Masters of Skills, and he was talking about how we think big, okay, which is good, but we need to also learn how to start small, because those days when you're small are the days that you can learn the most, satisfy your clients the most, know your client. You get it, right? Because let's say you have 5 clients when you're small. You can turn those 5 clients to family, and those 5 clients will bring more clients for you. You get it, right? But like, a lot of people get carried away by 5. They feel 5 is too small. It's like, you haven't even fed this 5 yet. You haven't even given them the most satisfaction. You get, right? What will you do when you get 20? Does that make sense, right?
You're still forming your business. You're still trying to get the steps in order. You need to give them the proper service. So those 5 clients, it's almost like a trial and error. They get to see you grow. And like, when you say family, they're almost like ambassadors too, because they feel like this is my business as well. They feel like they've grown with you, and they feel so proud, and they feel like they were part of something. So when they come, like, they almost are in tears. Like, they literally see my new space, and they're like, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe
this is
So it's kind of crazy. And it's probably like even more with like your business being a personal trainer, because they get to see themselves every day, and they get to see, like, you know, obviously my clients, they get to see like how much better I've gotten. But like, when you get to look in the mirror and you see your body, you're like, wow, I'm getting closer and closer to my goal. I probably surpassed it and reaching goals that I didn't even think I could reach. So yeah, they feel like, oh my gosh, like, I'm part of something bigger. So it's kind of good when you create like an actual connection. You don't want to just have like a transactional relationship. Some companies do work well that way, like Target. You don't know the owner of Target. You don't even know people close to the top of Target.
But they started from small too.
That's true too,
They built from a one store with 5 customers. They built that loyalty to those customers that they brought millions of customers to them.
And that could be us. We could be as big as Target.
Yeah. Give yourself 10 years from that. It's just that we want to do it in a year or 2. You get it, right?
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Years to get to where Target are.
Yeah.
I was reading about like the richest guy, what's his name? Warren Buffett. He became a billionaire at 80 something.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
God forbid. Give me the billions now. While I can enjoy it, please.
We want the billions now, but it
not even the billions.
Years
like some millions, a little
bit.
He
invested for years and then finally became that. And like when he was older, like that's when he became a billionaire. You understand? And that's so like that's the power of starting small. Like and I struggle with it too in my business because I was in a place where I felt like I needed a new space, my own space. That was what I felt like. And I was praying to God and like, do I need this space? Do I need this space? I was getting the offers. I was seeing it, but I was like, I don't want to move too quick. You get right? Because something I heard from the bishop, he said, God is never slow, okay? God is never slow. Yeah. We are just in a hurry all the time. So I was like, God, I don't want to miss this. I want to be slow and all that. And then I came across this book that told me that, look, what the guy said in that book, I was like, you know what? I want to make the most out of this little space I have. You get right? This position I am right now, I don't even need new clients. I want to stick with these clients that I have and give them everything. You get right? Because I started questioning myself, do I even know what they like? Do I even know what, do I really know these people a lot to even say I want to add more on top of it? Because if the foundation is not strong, you understand, right? Whatever you put on top of it, it's going to be a shaky building, you get, right? And the foundation is those 5 clients that I have right now. If I can build a strong foundation with them, know them, oh my God, you wouldn't believe that I'm in that place where my clients, like you said, my clients bring clients to me. You get, right? I don't even go out to introduce myself to people. I would, hey, Lucky, you're home? Okay, I'm bringing someone to you. They say they want to work with you. They've seen the result. Like they are so eager to bring people to me to work with me, and that I'm like, wow. So like that's kind of like what you went through too. You get right. Those times you were like bringing your clients closer to you, and they were getting to know you. The work, and then they go out there, they refer you. That's something that people spend money on to get. People spend money marketing their business and all that. But I bet you. The only marketing you do is social media. Probably post your video, right?
Yeah, but most of my clients are word of mouth.
Word of mouth, yeah.
Either I met them, made a connection when I was outside, and I just give them my cards, or my work speaks for itself. So my clients are literally like my marketers. They're walking around with they're advertising me.
Are they moving like this, like zombies?
Because that's how they feel. Like they feel like, wow, I'm that girl. They walk around like this. You know how Tenny's always like this with her hands? Yeah. So all I need is like a couple Tennies like this, and they're like, oh, and they see who's this crazy girl with her hands like this. Oh, look at her nails. Who did your nails? Then they end up in my chair. So, yeah.
Do you pay them for that, or they just naturally do it?
No, that's just what it is. It's the same thing as your work. Somebody sees them looking good, and then they're wondering, hey, what do you do?
What do you do? Yeah, what do you?
They're like with? My diet, my trainer, my lifestyle.
Yeah.
And they just come to you.
I love that. So like, what's the number one lesson you've learned from all this? Like everything you've said so far, like when you started your first business and then that closed, and then the business you're doing right now, and then all the way down to this point, what's one lesson you can take away from everything?
With business, I would say the reason that I'm a successful businesswoman, or I've seen success, is probably my years of customer service. Being the little person, working in retail. My first job, I worked at this place called Delia's. It was like a store that's not even open anymore. Then I worked at Hollister. I've always done like customer service jobs. Yeah. I've worked in the food industry, hospitality. So I've always been the person providing customer service. So that's why people will come back to me, because even when my work wasn't the best, they would still come back because they felt they wanted to come back. I gave them reason to come back because I treated them well. I'm never late. And if I am late, I'm going to give you money back. Like if you see on social media, they have like jokes about like nail techs, hairstylists. They have these crazy lists of terms and conditions. You can't bring anyone to your appointment. If you're 10 minutes late, it's this much money. You have to have a deposit. If you don't show up, then I charge you the full service. You know what I mean? Yeah. But what do they do when they're not on time? Not on time. When they're still working on somebody else and you're waiting on them, do they take any money off? Yeah. No, they don't. Me, I don't do that. I'd rather lose on money and give myself a whole bunch of time so my next person isn't even waiting on me. Yeah. I'm never late. If I am late, I'm taking money off. And all my clients that I have been late to, which I could probably count on one hand out of these 3 years, they know I give them money back. I don't play that because number one, at one point when I was at my house, I didn't even charge like late fees. Now I do because I have to leave from Methuen to Saugus. Yeah. I'm going to charge a deposit now because I have to go all the way there. Yeah. You're not about to cancel on me or not show up. So I need some type of, you're going to come in, right? And then if you're going to be late, I'm on time, so you need to be on time. Yeah. But if I'm not on time, then I'm going to give you some money off.
That's a good way to hold yourself accountable.
Yeah, you have to provide good customer service. That's what's going to make somebody come back. Somebody's going to rather come to me. That my work might not be as good as the next nail tech, but they know she's going to start my nails on time and I don't have to worry about that. She's going to be really nice to me. She's going to treat me like a real person. And I get some type of feeling like when I'm with her, like they feel like they're close to me. And I've made like real friendships out of people that I didn't even know. They just came to get their nails done. So I think that's the biggest thing. Any business person, you have to work on your customer service. Like even when you get to a big point, you have to look at like, how can I make things better and make the client want to come back, because we're all human. Things can go wrong, but you have to make the client feel like, okay, I'm valued. My money is valued. I work hard for my money. So I can't just treat my clients like it's nothing.
Like it's nothing. You show up late and you just act like nothing happened.
Yeah, like,
let's go. Yep. Yeah.
I don't care. Yeah. Like, you're not doing me a favor. No, you are doing me a favor, actually. Like, you're my client. You're supporting me, so I need to treat you accordingly. So, like, that story about the girl with the wig, that's not even just me trying to be nice. It's just how I am, because I've always worked in customer service. So, and I'm just a nice person. I'm not going to lie. But I've had that experience of working in customer service where you have to, it's like not the mindset of the customer is always right, because I don't believe they are always right. Yeah. There's some crazy clients out there, but the ones that aren't, you have to treat them with respect because they are supporting you. So you need to make sure you treat them the right way.
There's a saying that the customer is the boss. Do you agree to that?
In some ways, yeah, but to an extent, like, because sometimes people can take it the wrong way where they're going to treat you like trash. And at the end of the day, I don't have to service every client. So if I get a disrespectful client, which I haven't had that, the only time I've like basically banned somebody from booking is like them wasting my time, like not showing up, no call, no show.
I hate that one.
Yeah, you got to give me some advance. I understand things happen. Like I said, I wasn't even taking deposits. I didn't even charge late fees. I wouldn't even cancel on people like when I was at my house, because I'm like, I'm going to go straight to my bed 10 feet away. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care.
But I didn't take things that serious. But if you're gonna be disrespectful, I'm not taking disrespect, because at the end of the day, I don't need it that bad.
Okay. Where did you learn how to, like your customer skills? Where did you learn it from? Where did that come from?
Just those early jobs, like working in retail. Yeah. I'm sitting there folding a stack of stuff, a stack of clothes in Hollister, and then somebody, do you need a size? No, messes it up. You got to go back and do it anyways.
Yeah, I know.
So I've dealt with that for years. Yeah, the patience. And I always say like I have no patience, but I think I really do, because it takes a lot sometimes. So I think I definitely, got that from my early jobs.
What are your core values, like for your business?
My core values, just making providing luxury. Yeah. That's definitely one of my things. And that's going to continue, like what I have in the future too. It's gonna always be luxury, because I love luxurious things, and I feel like everybody deserves luxury. My other core value is just providing good customer service, and then just remembering that people are people. So like when things happen, I'm just very understanding. Like I try my best to understand, because we all have our days. And I think that's why I like, when you're just like a good person, you receive good things back. Yeah. So I've been blessed to not really have to deal with anything crazy, any crazy clients. Like my worst horror story is like somebody did a no call, no show. That's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. That's nothing. Yeah. So like I've been pretty blessed. So I just feel like, being understanding, being like very kind to people, you're going to receive that back. So that's what I just try to do. Like even if I've never even gotten a negative comment, but the way I would just deal with it is just like delete it, block, or just move on. Like there's no point in even feeding into it, giving negativity back out. You're not going to get anything good out of that. Like you're basically sowing like an evil seed. You're not going to get any good harvest from that. So
That is dope. Love the mindset.
thanks.
So, what are some, skills, some important skills and traits that you think, upcoming nail techs need to succeed in this field? I could say number one, having a positive mind. You have a positive mind, but
Thank you.
also what are some other skills you think people, in this field would need to survive?
I would say definitely practicing. Don't be like me. Get yourself like a good practice hand, or somebody that will practice, or practice on yourself too. Because a lot of my jobs, like when I worked in restaurants, I couldn't really have nails. So I didn't have the luxury of being able to practice on myself.
Yeah.
So just keep practicing. And also I would say, and the tips, I always like go on live when I do nails. So beginner nail techs will be watching my lives, trying to learn. And they'll always ask me like, what are your tips? What would you say for like a beginner nail tech? And I always tell them, invest in quality products, because it's going to cost more. But if you buy a whole bunch of cheap stuff, like if you think about it, cheap acrylic, it's going to be like bad quality. It's going to be harder for you to learn how to properly work with it. And it's going to take your process, is going to elongate it, Yeah. So if you can invest in like one good kit, get like the Young Nails kit, beginner nail kit, or Valentino, like anything of value, something of quality, then you're going to be able to really work on your craft. What I did worked for me, but that was 2020. So like I said, I even like took a course on lashes, but I'm not a lash tech because I don't have that time that I did back in 2020 to teach myself something new. Yeah. So I never really like went on like serious with it. Maybe one day I will. Who knows what God has for me? But right now I'm not really pursuing it. But I would say if you can invest that time, because you can go to nail school, but some nail schools are not the greatest. They don't really teach you much. And I heard now that like even the test is not even practical. It's just like an exam. So that's why you have so many hair stylists, nail techs that are not good in these salons. They're licensed and everything.
It's a lot easier.
They don't have
now.
the skill.
Yeah.
No, it's not even that it's easy. They don't have the skill because they don't teach you. You have to have the skill. They just teach you like stuff about infections and how to deal with stuff like that. Like things that the state board is going to look for when you go to open up your establishment, or how to become a nail tech. But they can't really teach you how to be a good like nail artist, You have to have that skill. You have to put in that time. So if you don't put that time in, then you're not going to do well. So what I would say is what worked for me is I found nail techs that I saw on Instagram that I loved their work. Like there was this one girl, she's from the UK, that I loved her work. I was obsessed. So I would watch her lives. I would go in her live. I would ask questions all the time. What are you using? How are you doing this? How do you build an apex? And she would teach me during her lives. And I learned how to do nails like her. And so my nail work is inspired by her. If I look at her page, I'm gonna do that later. I'm gonna because it's funny to see like now I'm really thinking about it. It's probably like mirror image because I learned from her. So if you can find a good nail tech, you can watch their work, you can ask them questions, because most nail techs are really nice. They'll go on live, they'll answer your questions, they'll tell you what they use, and 9 times out of 10 they'll tell you how they use it. And then you can do the same thing and you'll have good results.
What do you think about like, asking questions? A lot of people are, ashamed, timid. They don't want to, ask for help when they need help,
Well, a closed mouth is not going to get fed. So if you want to learn, then you have to ask questions. If somebody's going to shoot you down, don't feel ashamed. Go to the next person, ask a question, because there's never a dumb question. A dumb question is one that is not asked, because you're never going to learn.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take you a little bit backwards. How you moved to your salon, to your space. I'm just curious. So like, I know your mom wanted the space, but how did you know you're ready for it? How did you know that you were ready to? Because in so many ways to know, you could say, like number of clients, or I just felt like it was right. So because I'm like someone out there listening, and in that same situation as you are, they want to make this move, but they don't know if so what are like criteria that needs to be checked up before one can transition to their own space, or is it even needed for one to transition to their own space?
Yeah, I would say like personally, I knew like, okay, the pressure is getting worse, so I gotta get out.
Get out, yeah.
But
what if there was no pressure?
if there was no pressure, I probably still would have been there for a little bit, because I would have just, I'm a safe person, so I'll keep saving.
Yeah.
I'm not going to move like too fast, but you know, sometimes God puts you in situations where you're uncomfortable because he has something greater for you. Yeah. But I would say, like, if you're not under pressure or whatever, then you got to look at the finances. You don't want to just, like you said, you start off with this, you want to start with something small, because if you start too big, it can crumble if you're not ready for that, especially financially, because if you don't got the funds to pay your rent, to uphold it, then you're gonna end up in debt. Yeah. So you don't want to do that. So you definitely want to look at financially, is this going to make sense? If it's not looking right financially, then what can I do to get myself there by that time that I need to move in? Do I need to run ads? For me, I never really did ads. I like to do things more organically. So putting my cards out in the mall or Target or Ulta, like I would literally put my business cards out. I made my business cards in a way that where you would see it, you'd be like, oh wow, what is that? Yeah. It was all pictures of my work, and my brand is pink. Like my colors are like pink, black, and white. So all my nail sets on the business card were pink sets. So when you look at it, you're like, oh my gosh, these are so cute. What is this? Then you turn around, then you see, okay, nail tech, Methuen, whatever, and I have all that. So then you go at my TikTok, my Instagram, and then you see like all my work. So I would put my business cards out. I would just go hard. So when I knew I was moving, I kind of eased up on that because I knew I wasn't going to be in the same area that I was in. Yeah. But I was going hard on Instagram. So I kept tagging Boston Nail Tech. I was preparing myself, acting like I was already in Saugus. I was tagging Lynn Nail Tech, Saugus Nail Tech, Boston Nail Tech heavy. Yeah. I wasn't even putting Methuen Nail Tech anymore because I'm like, no, we're not even going to be here. Yeah. So
we're moving forward.
We're moving forward. So you have to just prepare yourself for that. Start buying things little by little for that space. I knew that I was taking mostly everything that I had from my space, but I knew I want a brand new sign. So that's going to be like $350. Yeah. I know I need furniture. That's going to be another like $450. I need this, I need that. So I was budgeting myself out. I had to sacrifice some stuff. My birthday, it wasn't as extravagant. So that was like my birthday gift to myself. I spent like over $1,000. That was my birthday gift on my suite. Your suite, yeah. Not including my rent, my first and last deposit. You know,
you can gift yourself,
exactly. Because 3-4 years from now, I'm gonna be like, wow, I'm so happy that I did that, and it was worth it. So, like, yeah, the first month was a little bit slow. The second month, last month was crazy busy, which I was very thankful for. So it's just gonna keep getting better.
Love it. So we're still back in this new space. So many questions I want to ask, okay?
Yes.
So the funding, okay, before I even ask that question, do you think people should take a loan for their business, or you think people should save? I know you're not a financial expert, but what worked for you? You know, take loan, or you saved up everything and bought it?
Yeah, so for me personally, I funded things initially through my unemployment money. Yeah. And then, because I was telling you how like I didn't even really have clients, I was using my money from work. So for a long time, when I was thinking, I was like, oh my gosh, where's all my money? Like, I don't really have money. I'm paying my bills, and then I'm not even buying myself stuff. I'm not even going anywhere. I don't go on vacations. Where's all my money? And then I didn't realize that I was so much in a business mindset that me investing in myself, I didn't even look at it as like business. I looked at it as pleasure. Yeah. I was doing that because I wanted to do it. So I kept buying stuff for my business, but I kept thinking about it as if like, when you get excited to buy like some new clothes or some new shoes, and you're like, wow, that's how I felt about things I was buying for my business. And then I realized I was neglecting myself because I didn't have any clothes. I had gained some weight. I'm like, I can't even fit in my clothes from last year, and I have no clothes. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I was neglecting myself. I was putting my business first. But it made such a difference now because you can see all the things that I have. If my clients want anything, I have it. Yeah.
Which is better.
Yeah, but not everybody's as disciplined that way. And to be honest, it wasn't disciplined because I was spending crazy. Yeah. But when you think about it, I was spending on my business, not on myself. Yeah. So I would say, because mine was like a hobby and it kind of just turned into a business, it was more like, it was a weird way. But if you're consciously saying, hey, I'm going to start a business, you need to write a business plan. And in your business plan, you can say, okay, does it make sense to take a loan? Do I have extra spending money like how I did, where my spending money after my bills went to my business,
Yeah.
you can do that. Or let's say you're a parent, or you have like at that time I lived with my mom. It wasn't a lot that I was spending. I didn't pay my mom a lot per month. You might have like a mortgage. You might have an apartment, a rent that you're paying. You might not have the extra money. Can I get a loan? So you need to think about that. I think either way works. It just depends on what you can work with, what you got going on. So you have to write that business plan, and you need to see how you want your business to turn out 3 to 5 years from now. You can't really think about just now. So does it make sense to get a loan, or should I just start really small, start saving?
Yeah.
But most businesses honestly don't take more. Like, you can start with very, very little.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people try not to do. They try to start so big.
Yeah.
But you can really start, like, even with the hair business.
Yeah.
I'll put y'all onto some free game. You can literally free game, right? What you can do is you can buy one wig, okay? You can buy one wig, and let's say it's like $300, and then plus whatever supplies you need, the bleach, hair dye, whatever. Buy all that stuff, the shampoo. Let's say you're at like $500, right? You can start your business just with that $500 in your phone. You can have that wig, you can style it, take videos of every single process that you're doing. Every time that you install that wig, reinstall it. You can literally dye that hair, put highlights in it, and then it looks like it's like 3, 4, 5 different wigs. And then you can make your website, which might not, some websites are free.
Yeah, a lot of, yeah.
And then you can literally take your pictures. You can be your own model for your hair. You're already posting on social media. You're starting to like get a buzz. People know, like, you know, and then you launch your business once you're ready. Once you did all the stuff before you launch, which you need to do some research. Okay, I'm not going to give you the whole steps. We'll be here forever if I tell you all that. But when you launch your business, you can literally put it on pre-order. So you didn't even spend any money on the wigs that they're buying. You're going to say, okay, I'm opening the website on this day.
Yeah.
Everybody that is going to go buy it, you can literally, it's pre-order. So it can be however many wigs people buy. Then they know by a certain time they're going to get their wig. So let's say they get it in a month. So, you know, you give yourself time to get the orders in. Tell your vendor, like, this is how many wigs that I need. Do the wigs, give it out to them. And then you start your wig business. Then you already made your 80 to 150 like per wig, your profit. Then you can keep going. Plus, you already have the money to rebuy the wigs that you already bought. There you go. You already have a wig business. With nails, I can start with like the small kit from Young Nails. Let's say it's like $100. I don't know exactly how much it is, but I can invest $100. I only need a few things. The first set's just ask the people, what do you need? Like, what set are you getting? What design? Then you go to the nail supply store, buy exactly what you need, and start doing sets by then. Then you got, let's say, $100. Then, you know, like off that set, you can go and buy more stuff, and then you just keep taking more and more clients. You buy as you go. Don't just buy a whole bunch of stuff. Like, for me, I had disposable income, so I did that. But if I were to start a business now, I wouldn't do that. I know not to do that. So it just depends. You got to really plan it out, and don't just jump into something just because it's never going to work out that way. I'm telling you, it might, but it will crumble because you didn't really think everything through.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you for
the free gem.
You literally told us how to start a business. I swear to God, if you're listening to this podcast and you're not going to sell wig, I'm going to go sell wig now.
You might have to. We might have to collab, you know?
Look at this.
And like, we don't have to braid your hair down, so it cuts off time.
Yeah.
You got the beard. We could even put the beard. We could curl the beard with the hair. See? I'm a businesswoman.
And also now with Instagram and TikTok, they have Instagram shops and TikTok shops where you can just put a picture and people will just buy it from your Instagram account or from your TikTok
link
account.
It's right there.
It's right there. So
you post your thing and you literally tag the product. They go and it's straight to your shop.
Straight to your
Add
shop.
to cart. There you go.
There you go. And you just go deliver it. You don't even need like a warehouse or anything to produce.
I was doing wigs in my room.
Yeah.
That same room that I had the nails in is my hair stuff. So
wow. So I admire a few things, okay? In fact, you're the person I admire. But like the discipline I admire a lot. You get it, right? The fact that when your uncle was like, here's your car. Because people don't prioritize their life. You get it, right? It's like you can spend that money and get a car for yourself. Or you can spend that money for your business. The car will last you right now, take you, you know. But it's still a liability. You're going to spend money on that car. You get it, right? but you put it in a business. That's an asset. You get right. And your uncle was like, "Where's your?" And you're like, "This is my car." And now the business bought you the car, right? And it's gonna still buy you more cars in the future that's coming. So it's like very, very important that we need to learn how to delay gratification. You get right, like instead of buying that car, because that's stimulus money. People were buying shoes, sneakers.
Gucci,
it was a
Louis.
free money. People
Yes.
bought what they never could buy before from that stimulus check. You get right, because it's a free money. But you on the other hand use that for something else, which is amazing.
And now I see that money times like 3, 4, 5 times 3 years later.
Yes.
And those people, that money's gone.
Your money's gone, yeah. And you're still spending that money right now. Yeah, right. That money.
Still making the money, still spending the money, and even more to come.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's crazy. And I didn't see that happening. Eventually I saw the vision. Once I started telling my uncle, it's right there.
It's right there, yeah.
That's when it clicked. But it wasn't really with nails. When I was doing the hair stuff, I knew like I had a purpose, I had a plan with that. And then with the nails, it ended up being that way because I feel like I already started to create that business mindset because TikTok just changed my mind. Yeah. So be careful what you watch, okay, you guys, because it's gonna change your mind.
But I don't like.
For the good or the bad.
For the good or the bad, you get it. The bullet people that say, I don't like TikTok and TikTok is fucking me up and all that. But look at you saying that you got inspired from TikTok to start a business, and if not for that inspiration, we would have never been, having this conversation. So
shout out to TikTok.
Oh man, I say shout out to TikTok every day because TikTok's changing life. It's all about the mindset you have towards it.
Sometimes I think, what was I doing? What was my life like before TikTok? Because now I'm like, I look on TikTok, how do I breathe? I have a minor inconvenience. How do I do this? Like, you know what I mean?
You just go
on TikTok. That teaches you everything.
Everything.
YouTube too, like especially business stuff.
YouTube. Yep.
Oh my gosh, you guys, another free gem. If you're looking for like business advice, there's this self-made, like I think she's a millionaire. I don't know if she's a billionaire yet, but her name is Baddie in Biz on YouTube. If you guys watch her, so first of all, you got to subscribe and you got to like and you got to comment to this channel, and then after you watch this video, you got to go to Baddie in Biz, and she teaches you a lot. Like her business was like, you would not even think that people care about these things. It's like these little keychain things, like stupid little things that you don't even think, like
stickers, stickers and all that.
Stickers. People be like millionaires off this stuff. Like
yeah,
and she's like for the real deal. So you can watch her, and she teaches you a lot of things that you probably have to go to so many different videos to find out, but she literally teaches you for free because she already has the money. So she's not like these other people, like, because I'm not gonna lie, I got baited by some people. They put out that bait and I got caught. Yeah, so like some people were like, oh, I'm what do they call it? It's like social media marketer, or a business manager. Like don't believe the hype, because they're gonna catch you and they're not really gonna teach you much. You're gonna spend money on these courses. They might say like they're gonna what do they mentor you. Some people might be legit, but most of them aren't, because they just got like a couple viral videos and they just popped off on social media and they're gonna try to teach you how to do the same thing. Just find somebody that's really legit, somebody that is gonna teach you real things, that isn't gonna charge you. That's how you know, because they're not doing it for anything,
Yeah.
So you can find things for free. That's how you really can start a business with the little bit of money that you have. You just might have to make a little bit of sacrifice. And like delayed gratification is so real, because it started with my business. And then even now, like this year, I told myself I wanted to lose weight. And that's a big thing, like not feeding into your cravings. Right now, it's going to feel so good to eat that Chick-fil-A. Yeah, I'm like, I want that so bad right now. But then I have to think about, no, I need to look good in the summer. So those things, it's so important for every aspect of your life. And yeah, it's just, it helps you. So people really got to focus on that.
Yes. And then also something I want to talk about, I want to bring up is the fact that a lot of people don't want to do this. They don't want to go back to their mom's house to start a business.
Or just in general. You might not be starting a business. You might be going back to school.
Yeah.
You might have just like, life just hit you and you need to get back on your feet.
Yeah.
So if your mom is nice enough to let you stay there, do what you got to do, because you don't want to be out here struggling, paying somebody else's mortgage.
Yeah.
Because let's be real, renting is paying somebody else's mortgage. Not everybody needs to buy a house. That's not always the best thing. I always believe in assets. So Like, you don't always have to buy a house, but when you think about renting, you're paying somebody else's mortgage. So if it's not really helping you, benefiting you, and you're not comfortable in that situation, don't kill yourself doing that.
Swallow your pride and go back to your mom's house.
Yes, because this economy that we're in right now, it's so hard for millennials, and I don't even know about Gen Z. Like, I pray for them because, the Gen Z and Alpha generation, like, Lord help you guys, because buying a house for millennials right now is not easy. The market right now, the economy is really hard. So if you need to do what you got to do, you're going to appreciate that later. So
a few years of sacrifice is not going to, ruin your life forever.
No, you're going to thank yourself. Yeah. You're really going to thank yourself, because now, like, I don't have my 9-to-5 job anymore. They let me go.
Really?
And I'm like, I'm chilling. I have my business, So
they let you go.
Yes, the beginning of this month.
Are
like
you serious?
A couple weeks ago. Yeah. I've been like a full-time nail tech since then. But I was just like, when they let me go, I was laughing. The first thing I did was laugh, and I was like, God got me. God always provides. Isn't that crazy?
They let you go.
Yes, and I hated the job anyways.
Because I was gonna ask you, at what time did you leave? Because remember you told me you were there. That's the ice cream something, right?
Yeah, the ice cream.
Yeah,
we're not even gonna give them no clout. I don't care about that. Oh my God!
Well, wow, you see, right? That's how life is, man. And you hold your job like, oh, I want to be secure. I want a job that's secured and all that. You get right, and they would let you go without even thinking about it.
Literally, I saw TikTok. Shout out to TikTok again. Somebody was saying, like, she does not believe in the 2-week rule, like giving a 2-week notice, because they'll fire you in one day. So, and I was like, oh my God, that is so true. And that hit home for me so hard, because I was like, I just got fired like last week. And I was like, I wasn't going to give them a 2-week anyways. But I didn't have another job lined up, but it's okay, because I was working like crazy. In the month of June, I was working like a mad woman. And I also had jury duty half of the month. Like, I was in jury duty for 11 days. So I didn't even get to work half the month, but I was still going to Boston to a stupid court case or whatever, and then taking clients after, sometimes 2 clients, not getting home until like 12, having to wake up at 6. Like, it was a lot in the month of June. But it's that discipline that I'm like, wow, I could do anything. I didn't even know I could go off of like no sleep. That's crazy,
until you do it.
Until
You're
I
like,
did
wow, I didn't know this was possible.
Right. And I'm like, and I'm in a good mood in the morning. That's crazy, because I never thought that would happen.
That's because you're fighting for your dreams. You get it, right? That's
because
you're doing something you love, fighting for your life, and you're doing something you're passionate about. So you wake up excited. You wake up ready to go. But if you're going to work for someone else's dream, or you don't know their purpose, so you don't get driven as they are driven. You get right.
Yeah, you don't care about that.
You don't care about that job. So
don't quit your 9-to-5 prematurely, because like that's a big thing. Like, a lot of people in that LLC, Twitter, TikTok, they'll tell you like, quit your 9-to-5, don't quit it until you're ready. So I still kept mine for security, and I was gonna tell myself, I'm not gonna quit my 9-to-5 until I'm booked where I can't even go to my 9-to-5 anymore. I didn't get to that point yet, but that's how like safe and like secure I am. I don't like to move until I know for sure. But sometimes God just puts you in a situation, and it just is what it is. I wasn't gonna quit my job, even though I hated going into work every day. But I would say, if you still have your job, stay, because you never know. There's slow days. Like, this month is a little bit slow for me, and I could have used the money being at my job, but it's okay. I'm not hurting, because I put in so much work, and I have enough clients. I'm okay. I'm not hurting. So
so another thing about your story that I really, really admire is that you don't go, like, things just naturally happen to you. You like, the next step just naturally, God reveals the next step to you in some way or form. It's like, so because some people think, like, should I leave this job now? Should I? But they fired you. What other sign do you want? You understand? Like, the things that happen to you is not like, oh, do I have a choice? You don't have a choice, but just, okay, now I gotta go full on this business. You understand, right?
Well, that's the story of my life.
The salon you were in, I mean, the garage, your mama is, okay, now
you gotta get out of here.
I need this space, okay?
Yeah, I mean, I just roll with the punches. Like, like, when there's like swim class and they just throw you in the water and they're like, see if you drown or not, and you just learn that way to swim. Like, that's just how my life is. I've always been like that. I've always been faced with adversity, and I just come out on top. And I feel like I've always been in survival mode, and so I work good under pressure. I might be stressed, but my faith helps me, because Now I don't have to worry about things. I'm like, God got it. Like when I got fired, I laughed and I was like, thank you, God, because I've been praying about this. I didn't see it this way. Yeah. I didn't know it was gonna happen like this, but you gave it to me, and I'm okay. I'm not hurting. I'm not like how I'm gonna pay my bills next month.
Yeah.
You know, it is how it is. So for me, I think that it happens that way because of my faith. I pray about it, and God shows it to me.
Yeah.
He doesn't always say it to me. He'll just show me sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes I audibly hear him, and I'll be like, okay, I shouldn't do this or I should do that. But I would say, like, if you do believe in God, put your faith in him, because he will show you. Yeah. He will not have you out here questioning. And if you don't hear him, be still. Sometimes that's the biggest thing, is to be still, and he's waiting to see. He's testing your faith sometimes. Yeah. Do you really trust me? Yeah. Are you really going to stay 3-4 months without hearing an answer and hating your job? Like how I did. I hated it since the day I started the job. Yeah. And then, like, you know, so yeah, I would say use your faith, because he got you. He has so much more than what you can even want. Like my biggest dreams, he wants like way more than I can even imagine.
Oh yeah, trust me.
So
trust me
trying to do
you
what
think
I
you like
do,
yourself enough. You think you love yourself enough and you want the best for yourself. But wait till you see what God has in store for you. That's the literally like you'll be mind blown.
So yeah, guys, lean on God. He got you. So
true. Oh, okay. Another thing.
Yes.
So there's this saying that I've always known. Like I read about it. They say if something starts too good, it ends up being bad. Okay. And based on my life too, I have agreed to that. Like if I start a project and it's going too easy at first, going too smooth, you get it, right? It's just happening. Wow, this happening. I get scared and it's like, something fishy is going on. You get. So the guy said the best way for something to start is if you start something in difficulty, then the end of it is gonna be better. And your two businesses, I want to give an example. So the wig business was so good for you. You get it, right? So successful. You started. I don't know how. I might be wrong. You get it, right? But based on what you're saying, I'm just trying to use that as an example. The hair business just came out of. It's just too good to be true, and that's the same way it ended. and then the second one was where you put your sweat, your like. You went through the mud, like the dirt, you get, right? And now from down there, it's like there's no down anymore. You can only go up from there. You get, right? But if you start up, there's a chance of going down. Feel me, right? So do you agree with this saying? Like, is it true? Do you believe in that, or you think the opposite? That sometimes the best things in life comes from roughness.
I mean, it depends, like, because when God gives you an opportunity, it comes with ease. There are some people where they're like, they have testimonies where they had their dream car, right? Yeah. They crash it, or like their car breaks down. They go to the dealership and they just sign and leave with a car that they wanted even more than their other dream car, right? Yeah. So sometimes when it comes to God, it can come with ease. Yeah. But in his story, sometimes he has it written in your story where you do have to struggle a little bit. So I just feel like you just have to believe in God. You just have to trust in him. Like if you are going through some difficulties, you have to look at him and you have to really sit and have that conversation with him. Like, God, what's going on? I'm feeling like this, but then you have to leave it there. You have to tell him how you feel, and then you have to just leave that stress and put it onto him and say, I'm putting my burdens onto you. Yep. You died on that cross for me, so I'm going to give you that stress. Yeah. I don't need to stress about it. And then you will see the better side. Like you'll come out on top. So it just depends. I think it can go either way. Either way.
You give an example of the cars, like the car situation. Like, so there was a point in my life. Okay, the first car I got, I knew that car. Like the reason why I believe in that saying, okay, is I started too good. Like after college, I went there. I went and got a car that wasn't for me. You get, right?
Too expensive?
Too expensive. That car would have been for someone else, like maybe me 10 years from now or something.
Oh, wow.
You get, right?
You was trying to be a big baller.
I was trying to be a big baller. And I remember I crashed that car. It's reckless and all that. And then I got the second one. I got the third one. You get, right? Everything. And it wasn't like I had the money. I didn't even have the money, but some way I made it possible to get get good credit score and all that. You can get whatever car that you want. You get, right? But now That was me trying to do things on my own will.
Yeah.
You get right? But right now I'm driving a Toyota. I'm driving a 2000 and in fact my best car was a 2001 Toyota Camry. You get right? And that car I knew God gave it to me. That car I knew I didn't make this happen. You get right? And I so much appreciate that car. And I call my friends and I tell them, this is where I could have started with. You get right? But now God is bringing me back to start back from where I was because I didn't know how to value that little car. Like 2001 Toyota Camry, if I had, and I went to 2014, 15 and I just messed it up. But now I value this car so much that I feel like the next one comes, I would not value that. And the next one come, I would not value that. Does that make sense, right?
Yeah, of course.
So it's like, sometimes we want the good things, God loves us and he wants good for us. But I feel like even what we call bad is still good in God's eye. You get it, right? Like situations that we go through that we're like, oh, this is a bad situation. Give yourself a few days from now, you would surprise that what you call the bad situation is a good situation. And the one you call a good situation could be a bad situation. Like you would think you were happy, I'm glad this happened. And then there's a story that this guy bought a horse long time ago to like help with famine. Okay, so everyone was like, hey, yeah, you got a horse. Thank God, thank God, thank God. Wow. So the next day, his son was riding a horse, famine and all that. And then the son fell from the horse and broke his leg. I was like, oh, man, your horse fucked. Look at why did you get the horse? Why did you get the horse? The next week, okay, the military, there was a war going on and the military were taking young men from the village to go fight in the war and never come back. So when they went to that guy, because he fell from the horse and his leg was broken, they didn't take him, you understand, right? They left him behind and those guys went and died. And they're like, oh, thank God my son fell from the horse. So it's like,
you never
know like what you call a bad news, so, but yeah, that's just basically our life. It's interesting.
Yeah. That is true, because the way that life happens, sometimes you really have to sit back and say, thank you, God. You have to look regardless. And say, why? I didn't know that this was going to happen, and it did. Yeah. So, just always be thankful.
Always be thankful, regardless of the situation,
Yeah.
Good or bad, because you never know. Okay, my next question is, were there ever any situation or times where in this journey you are afraid to take the next step? Were there any period where like supposed to do this, but you're afraid, like, you know what, I don't want to do this, I'm afraid?
Not really like afraid, but there was a time where I was going to give up. I was so discouraged because I wasn't making any sales. Like I kind of stopped doing nails, like real clients, and I was kind of pushing with the press-on nails. So I was like, I had this great idea. This is going to make me so much money, because when you're doing nails, it's like you have to sit and do somebody's nails, right? But if I make press-ons, I can make as much and I can send it to people. Like basically my clientele is worldwide. It's not just like people obviously in Dubai are not going to come to me to get their nails done, but somebody in Dubai can buy from me to get press-on nails because they like my work. They can see me on social media, right? So that business mindset, that's like when people are trying to make like passive income, it's not passive income because I'm still sitting there doing it. But it's kind of like when you sell a product, you're more likely to make more sales because you can sell it. You have a bigger client base, basically, right? So I had this big idea. I was like, okay, I'm going to do the press on nails. We're going to go with that because I'm not that great at doing nails. But nobody was buying. So I was doing so much. I was posting so much, going crazy, trying to make new like sets, because they're literally like these clear nails. So you do everything on that design is you. So I was doing all that and trying to put out new designs, trying to be creative. And like, I'm not really too creative. Like like most of my sets are recreations. Like my clients will say like, I want this. So I'll like recreate it, or they'll say I want green French tips. So I know how to do that, but I don't always do like too many freestyles or like things that just came out of my mind. I don't really like make up designs like that. So that was like very hard for me, but it was cool. So I liked it. I was trying to come up with designs, trying to make new sets or whatever, but nobody was buying. So I was like, oh my God, like my little idea didn't work out. So I was about to give up. But I started making press-on sets. So a good idea that I had was I made press-ons and I was sending them to celebrities. So celebrities in their Instagram bios, like they'll have like their P.O. box. So I was like, let me just send these to a bunch of celebrities. Somebody might wear them. But, when you start to like you start to feel like, oh, it's not working.
Yeah.
Because some months went by and no, I didn't see anybody tag me. I didn't see anybody wearing my nails. And when you think about it, they have their PO box in their bio. They have like 3 million 3 million followers. So what are the odds that they're gonna get my package? So one day I'm just sitting, I'm just like chilling, like it was like after work or whatever, and then I look at one of the girls, one of the celebrities that I sent it to, and I saw her wearing my nails, and I was like, oh my gosh, like that was a moment, like, you know, when your heart drops to the pit of your ass, like I was like, oh my God, like that's crazy. So then I'm like looking and I'm like shaking at this point. I'm like, there's no way that these are my nails on her, right?
Did she tag you?
No, she didn't. But what I did was I posted on my story, like, thank you so much. Like, I was literally about to give up. Like, I was in tears writing this because it was, like, so emotional for me. Like, even though she didn't tag me, it just made me feel like, wow, like, I need to keep going because somebody of importance is wearing my nails. And who knows who else could wear my nails and will tag me. But she was so sweet. So I'm sure a lot of people know her. She's Ari, the Real Cow Sister on Instagram. She has, like, 3 million followers or whatever. So she reposted me saying like, thank you so much. I was about to give up. And she was like, go F with my girl or whatever, like go buy from her. So then I got like some people follow me. I got like so many orders in one day that I was so like stressed out. Yeah, it made me feel like, oh my gosh, I really should keep going. Because at first it was just like, I didn't get anything from it. But she saw like how humble I was and like just thanking her and just telling her, because she believes in God too. Like I see her like talk about it. I don't know like how far she is in her faith, but I think she really like felt that and was led to like repost it and was just like, go mess with her, like go follow her or whatever. So it wasn't like a lot of followers that I got because my page and my business wasn't set up correctly at that time. If I got that shout out like probably now or in the future, that could do like so much for my business. But it doesn't matter because it took that to bring me to where I am now. I wasn't ready at that point to have like a successful running business, like thousands of people ordering from me. That would have crumbled. There's no way. But the amount of people that I got in that time, because when you think about, I'm doing everything by hand, by myself. I had to quit my job. I had to quit that stupid job that I hated, that I was saying I didn't want to go back to. See how you have to be careful what you ask for, because I was like, God will give it to you. And it might not be the way that you wanted it, but he'll give it to you. So I had to quit because I was like, my business comes first. Like my customers, they're worried about me and my service that I'm giving out. The same way that you want me to give out good service for your establishment, I gotta do what I gotta do. So they were like, oh, you're supposed to give 2 weeks. And I was just like, yeah, okay. I wrote it and I did not show up the next day because number one, it was slow. Like we had come back from COVID, but it was like, it was the the fall time. So like the patio was closing, there wasn't so much business, and they would just have us there all day. Like I'm working all day, but I'm not making any money and you're not letting us go home. So I was like, no, I need to be making money and fulfilling my orders so people keep ordering from me if I give them good customer service. So I quit my job, did that, and it ended up fizzling out. Like I didn't have that many clients, but it gave me the confidence that I needed to keep going, because I probably would have quit. All that money, like me telling my uncle, oh, you're looking at my car here, it would have been like a slap in the face, because I would have said that and nothing would have came from it. I would have gave up. So that was a pivotal moment that I needed. So shout out to her. Like, I can't believe that she really did that. She didn't have to repost it, because her, like the stature that she's at on social media, like just a story post, I'd have to pay like 10K for that. And she did that for free. So that's just like how favored I am. Like God gave me that. God paid that price, that 10K. He said, don't worry about it, you know? So I got that and I got my clients, and it gave me the strength to keep moving, to keep going. So yeah.
That's amazing. Thanks for sharing that.
No problem.
You know, like, there's a lesson to learn from here. There's moments you want to give up. There's moments you feel like, I want to stop this. If you can just push a little more, you realize that's where you break through sometimes. You get it, right? There's this meme I saw about two guys that were digging gold. One was on top and one was below. And the guy on top was this close to his gold. Okay? And he has a lot of gold. Like behind that, if he had just struck one more time, he literally boomed.
Billionaire. Trillionaire.
And then the guy down there saw a little gold. Okay, and we're like, I found gold, and this guy left his gold, and he left his gold, gave up, and now was trying to go join that guy to get his own gold, but his gold was so much like. Not like literally, if he had just gone one more time, if he had just said, okay, let me just, so like that's kind of like what happened to you. You get right? That day, like the day you just felt like, you know what, this, I'm tired of it. If you had just said, you know what, I give up in that second, you understand, right? You would have missed that opportunity that came to you.
Yeah, that is true.
But just because you stood in there and say, just let me try one more time, you get it, right? Let me just do one more thing. That happened. Yeah. So
it's important. You got to keep going, because
you got to keep going.
If you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will too. So I believed in myself, and I did have that moment of weakness where I was like, you start to feel like imposter syndrome, like you're not really as good as you think you are. You don't think you're qualified for what you're doing.
Oh, yes.
Nobody's buying from me. How can I be that good? I shouldn't be doing this. Yeah, so you feel like that, but you just got to keep going. I don't know, but you just got to find that little bit of strength, or you got to remember, why did I start doing this? Yeah. And anybody that is a billionaire now, they did not have it easy. Like, I heard the story about Elon Musk and like what he went through. Like, he spent his last everything. He was sleeping on the floor of Tesla. Yeah. And then look at him now.
We haven't even gone through that
at all. Like, on a smaller scale, I use my unemployment for something, but it's not like I was on the floor of my shop or whatever. Yeah. But if it comes to that now, I probably would, because I know I believe in myself and I know what I can do. And when you have discipline and when you just have a business mindset, you see the bigger picture that people can't see. Yeah. And that's what's so important. It doesn't even have to be in a business. It can be in anything, like any talent that you have, anything that you're passionate about, any like thing that you're trying to do in school. Like, really put your mind to it. You might fail. Like, if I kept going with chemical engineering, it didn't work out for me. But if I kept going, I could have been a great chemical engineer at this point. I could have been probably more than that. I probably could have been set up to get a doctorate. Who knows? But you have to put in that time. You have to put in that work. Yeah. So when things are tough, you got to know, like, there's better days there. Sometimes it's not your story. So that's where God comes in for me. He tells me, like, hey, he lets me know, you got to let this go. Let's go. But other things, like, he gives me that strength.
Love it. Any regrets so far?
Any regrets?
Did you do anything differently?
I would say no, because everything is supposed to happen the way it's supposed to happen. If you live your life thinking about regrets, then you're always going to second guess yourself, and you're probably not going to make the right move. You're going to end up doing the wrong thing, because you're always going to second guess yourself. So I would say, like, don't live your life with regrets. If you're not where you want to be, you can't think about it that way. You have to think about where you want to be and how you're going to get there, and always work towards it, because there's so many times like that I felt adversity. Like, I had to go back to my mom's house. I had to go back to being in my room. Do you know how bad that felt? From having my own space to being like in the smaller room? Because the room that I was in before I left was a bigger room. The desk wasn't right next to my bed. I had space. But by the time I came back, one of my family members was in my room. So I had the smaller one. And I'm like, wow. And do you know how, like, humiliating that is? Like, God had to humble me. And sometimes it takes that. Like, you have to be humbled. You have to just go through adversity and just come out on top, and it makes you stronger. So, yeah, I just thank God.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. You've had your own slice of the humble pie.
Yes, I have. Oh, my gosh.
And that's the fun thing about life. It's a never-ending circle, you understand, right? But you just have to be humble enough to not see it as a big deal. You get it, right? And say, okay, if that's what it takes, I'm going to do it. You get it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely have to be disciplined to just say, like, I have to do what it's going to take. Like, anything it takes. But if it's in God's will, I believe that. Because you can work hard, and it's never going to happen if it's not in God's will.
Yeah.
He'll always make you do what needs to be done. It'll just take longer.
Why did you choose this entrepreneurship field? What about it? Why did you decide to, be your own boss, make money?
It was LLC TikTok. Like, I just saw everybody living so good, talking about that. I'm like, oh yeah, like, I don't want to work for people no more.
Yeah.
I'm tired of going to work and my manager is like so rude to me, or the customers can be rude. Like, and I hate going to work, like, when I don't want to go to work. I have plans, but I'm scheduled to go to work and nobody else wants to work for me. Like I didn't want that. So it was appealing. The look of being an entrepreneur was appealing. And I always had discipline. Like I grew up like in sports, so I know how to discipline myself. So I knew like it might not happen that way. So that's how I was able, like I didn't think, okay, in a week I'm gonna be rich. Of course that was the goal. I want to be rich as soon as possible, but if it didn't happen, I knew I was gonna work towards it because I said, okay, this is what I want. You know, I always told myself like I want to be able to be like a stay-at-home mom. When I have kids, I want to have my business where I can stay at home
and take care of the kids
and take care of my kids. I want to homeschool them. You know? Yeah, still make money. I want to homeschool my kids because the school system is trash. They're teaching these kids crazy stuff in school. So I'm like, I want to be able to do that. So how am I going to do that? I can't do that if I'm at work. They're going to tell me, oh, your maternity leave is over. Come back.
Come back, yeah.
So, no. So when I saw what I wanted for my life, that's when my mind changed. Like literally, whatever that TikTok was, I wish I could pinpoint exactly what it was. But whatever it is, it changed my life. Like it changed the trajectory of my life. And it changed the way I thought. It changed my mindset. It changed what I wanted and what I was going to do. You know, because I think I was a little bit lost. And then once whatever that TikTok was or whatever TikToks made me start to feel that way, it changed my life.
I'm glad you follow. I'm glad you came across that TikTok and you know you let
me
it
too. Because who knows? Maybe I might have not met you. Yeah, who knows where my life would be at this point? So. And
the journey has been beautiful so far. So.
That's
that's the beauty of life, you know. Like you know, taking steps you don't even know what's gonna be next. You understand, right?
Exactly.
Just letting God lead you.
That's the most important thing. That's all you could do, honestly, in this life.
What is one thing, okay, you would want people to know about you? What's one thing, or what's something you would want people to know about you? Like honestly, about maybe your business or something. You know, what's one thing that you know what? I just want to be real with you and just share with your listeners.
That's a hard question. I don't know. What would I want somebody to know about me? I'm trying to think. I would say, because I feel like I've shared so much already.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm trying to think, like, what have I not shared? I would say about me is, like, I'm kind of like a jack of all trades. Like, I know how to do so many things. And I'm, like, very much, like, the do-it-yourself queen. Like, if I can do it myself, I will. Like, that's kind of how I, like, the skills that I have, like, when it comes to beauty, I probably couldn't afford it, like, when I was younger, doing hair. My mom couldn't just, like, if I wanted a specific hairstyle or I wanted this, like, I would save up my money, buy a wig, learn how to do it myself. So I've always been, like, accustomed to doing those things, and I've been very disciplined. Like I said, like, with sports and stuff like that, it taught me a lot. So I think that definitely helps in my business because sometimes in business you might not have that budget to do things on a bigger scale. You might not be able to pay somebody else, so you got to do it yourself. You got to get it done. So I will learn how to do things myself, and I'll just, like, do what I got to do to get what I need to get done. So yeah, I just learned how to do a lot of things over the years. Like, at one point I tried to teach myself how to cut hair. I could have been a barber at one point. Like, you know, like, I will learn how to do anything.
You never know. Someday, you know, you might have to put all these things together, you know.
Exactly. Like, I could do, like, so many things. And there's, like, the sky's the limit. I can learn how to do anything. And I'm always down to learn something new. Like, that's why with the lashes, like, trying to be a lash tech, that's really good money too. Like, a good business to get into. And I tried to, but I got a little lazy because I was like, I'm so good at doing nails now. Do I really want to start from the ground with something else? And I probably will eventually, honestly, because I like to keep myself busy. So once I feel like I've learned everything that needs to be learned about nails, which you're never fully there, but when I get really comfortable, I'll be like, all right, I want to start to learn something else because that's just how I am. I can't just sit still.
That's a good skill. Keeps you young too, because your brain is always always working.
Learning.
You're learning new things.
Yeah,
it's been like question like, well, what do we do? What do we do? You know, like that's a good trait. Like that's a good thing to keep you young. And
it's a good mindset to have as well, because you never want to think like I know everything, because you don't. Yeah. Somebody that thinks they know everything knows nothing. Somebody that thinks they know nothing knows so much, and they're so wise and they'll learn so much. So like, and that's another thing about me is I always loved school until I didn't. There was one I don't know when that day was, but I think once I was like once I was like a senior, I was like I had senioritis ever since then. Once I was a freshman again, I was still a senioritis because like I became lazy. Like I didn't want to do homework and stuff like that, but I still loved learning. I loved being in a classroom and sitting there learning about things that are interesting.
Yeah.
Like I'm a big nerd. Like I loved like watching documentaries about quantum physics. Like I love watching stuff like that. My favorite movie is like Interstellar, about like space and stuff. Because you know, when I was little, my first, like when you're like the first thing you want to be, I want to be an astronaut.
Really?
Yeah, I loved space.
Who says that?
I don't know. Everybody always says like a doctor, like a singer, I want to be a star. No, I was like, I want to be an astronaut.
Wow.
And then I was like, I'm scared. Well, first I was like, I don't really want to go into space. Once I got a little older, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to be an aerospace engineer. And then my mom was like, okay, if you want to be an engineer, aerospace, do your research. Then I did my research and I saw that NASA is not really like popping no more.
Yeah, you're like.
So then I started researching, and then I was doing chemistry, and I was like, I like chemistry. Let's do chemical engineering. And I researched it. I was like, the money's good. Other engineering practices, I have to do like extra work after I graduate. I have to take like tests, like big standardized tests or like certain licenses. But a chemical engineer, you don't really have to do that. So I was like, this is perfect. So that's how I ended up in that. But I loved learning. Like literally in school, I was taking like a calculus class and I was lazy. So I didn't want to do my homework, but I knew everything. So when I went to my final, I had a D. Like my mom does not know this. I was almost failing my class, but the final I got an A. Like I got every question right. So my teacher was so nice. My professor gave me an A because she's like, I know you know everything, but you're lazy. You don't like to do your homework. And she's like, but I know you know everything, so I'll give you an A for the class. So I always love learning, but I just don't like doing the work sometimes, which is bad.
Now I want to ask a question. I've asked this before, but it's going to be a different way.
What?
Why did you go into the nail business? So, because you told me back in college, you when you picked your majors, like you wanted to be an aeronautical engineer. You're like, oh, you didn't like space. And then you picked on something else. You didn't like that because NASA wasn't that popping, and then chemical engineering because they're making a lot of money. You get right. So they were always wise to that. You get right. Why did you end up? What about being a nail technician that just sparked your plug and has made you stay here till today? Is it good money? What is it that made you stay with this journey till right now?
I think it's just like new and exciting, because like I said, I can never really sit still, and things that are new are attractive to me. So I like doing new things. I don't always like doing the same thing every day. So I think that's kind of what hooked me in. And like, I don't want to do nails forever. That's not like my passion, to just do nails the rest of my life. I'm not trying to be a nail tech forever. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be a businesswoman. Yeah. So that was my way in. But I was passionate enough to be able to do it for 3 years so far, and probably another 3 years to come. But I'm working my way up to being a multimillionaire.
That's the goal.
That's the goal.
This goal. I love this goal.
Yeah, I'm trying to be a billionaire, you know?
The billionaire goal, the BG goal. Okay.
Yes.
So, second to the last question. 5 years from now, okay, where do you see yourself? Or like, what's next for you? So after the nail business, you already said, you're working your way. For the next 3 years, you see yourself doing this, you understand, right? After this, like, what's next for Naisha?
Okay, so like I said, I want to be a businesswoman. I want to own businesses. I want to have passive income. I don't want to be
working.
I don't want earned income. So earned income is like when you go to your job, you clock in, you have your salary, you're going to work. Yep. I'm doing nails. I'm sitting there for a certain period of time, and it's an exchange of money for time. Yeah. Passive income is like passive money. You can make the money in your sleep. You make it anyway. So owning businesses is passive income, especially when you set it up where you don't even have to be there anymore. Yeah. It's just working its way. It's working itself out. You're making the money. Yep. So that's my goal. So because I have I want to keep doing nails. I want to grow my platform. I want people to be following me. I want to be like a force in the nail industry, so that way I can use that platform and make money off of it. So whether that's selling products, having businesses in the beauty industry, and then working my way out of that. Like that'll probably always be like something I'll have, and especially like to start with. But then I want to invest in real estate. I want to invest in like so many things, any form of like passive income, even like the trucking business, I would do that if I had the money to invest, but I have to start somewhere. So that's where I'm at right now. So basically I'm working towards just being like passive income, entrepreneur, boss lady.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good goal.
Thank you.
It will happen. Just keep grinding.
Exactly.
Yes. And then my last question. If you could sit with that Naisha, which of them should I use? Should I use the TikTok Naisha or with that saw that video you get right? But if you could sit with a little Naisha, one of them you get right, and advise her, what would you tell her based on what you know now? You get right. What advice would you give to that girl? Let's use that girl on that TikTok that was hungry to, make money and learn about business and LLC, you understand, right? If you could advise that Naisha, what would you tell her?
So that's a very good question. I was not expecting you to ask me this, but I would say that Naisha is not a good example because that Naisha kind of already saw it. She already like felt it, and I was already so sure about it. I wasn't sure when it was going to happen. Obviously, I wanted it to happen, but I knew like, I feel like I have the attitude to do it. I have the discipline, and I don't care how long it takes me. I already, like I said, my mind, it was a shift. It was a change, and I already knew that's where I was going. And from that day on, that's all I could think about. The whole time in COVID, I kept thinking about nails, but also as a businesswoman, even before nails. When I was doing hair, I was thinking as a businesswoman. So I would say that's not even a good Naisha to think about. I would really love to sit with little me, like in kindergarten, thinking about being an astronaut, or like in high school when like times were tough, like family problems that I had, and just thinking about like, I was doing well in school, but I thought, I was going to be a chemical engineer. And then I dropped out of college. Like it didn't work out. I would love to sit with Naisha at that point, or even when I was younger, before like things happened in my life, and just tell myself like, give yourself grace. Like, and back then I didn't really believe in God, but that helps me so much. Like if I didn't have God, I don't even think I'd be here right now, because I probably would have gave up. Like that's where my strength comes from, is through God, because like you really have to just think and just say like, you have to give yourself grace, because your life is not gonna, if most times, nine times out of 10, you're not gonna end up where you want it to, where you think you're gonna be, or where you want it to go. And sometimes life, you just have to flow with it. So I wish I could just prepare myself, or tell myself like, hey, you are so much stronger than you even know. And like, I would have never thought that I could be the kind of person that could be hit left and right with so many things, like obstacles that come at me, and somebody could have broke them down, but I just find a way, or I always try to look at the positive outcome of it, or just keep going. I don't even know how I'm going to get out of it, but I do. And I just work towards it. So I wish I could go back and just tell myself like, it's going to be okay. You might not be a chemical engineer. You're not going to be a chemical engineer. You're going to work so hard at it for however many years, and then it's not going to come out. Who knows? I could end up going back to school, finishing that. Who knows what's going to happen in the future? But like, just to give yourself grace and just be like, life happens. So just relax, because I end up learning that. But along the way, there's so many nights that I had cried, or like you get so stuck on a dream, and it doesn't always happen that way. Same thing with my hair business. Like that didn't end up working out. And then I ended up with something that blossomed into like 3 years come and more. So yeah, I wish I could just tell myself like, just relax. Life is going to happen, but God already has your steps ordered. So really you just need to chill. Like you just need to live.
Happen.
You're going to put in that work, but he's going to give you that strength. So just relax.
Love it. Wow. That's a beautiful advice. Chill.
Thank you.
Relax. There's no need to, no need for the sleepless night. And,
no need for stress. No need for crying. I used to be such a crybaby. I can't even cry now. I can't. I've cried enough tears. I can't.
You're out of tears right now.
Yeah, like it's crazy. So no stress.
Love it. So I'm gonna ask you this one. If people want to follow you, okay? People want to be part of your journey. People want to support you. How can people be part of you? Like, how can people follow you? What's a good handle for people to follow you on Instagram? How can people support your business? How can my listeners be part of your journey? Because, guys, we have to 100% support our own, okay? The beauty salon is all the way in Saugus. It's a lovely space. You guys will feel at home. And, level of information she has shared with us here today, guys. She's given us tips on how to sell wigs, like literally. If you watch that video, watch it again twice, okay? That part, I will cut that part away.
Notes.
I will cut that part away and just give it a special video, say, put it specially and say how to sell wigs online. You understand?
Business
right?
101.
Business 101. Tips from Naisha, like she has been, vulnerable, shared everything she can with us. So the least we can do is to, support her, be part of her, She's one of our own. Go book an appointment with her, get your nails done, get your girls there, and have fun. So, Naisha, how can people be part of the community, support you?
Yes, so if you want to support me, you can head over to Instagram. I'm working on my website, so currently I'm booking through DMs. So my Instagram is Princess Nai Beauty, Princess Nai Beauty. On TikTok, it's just Princess Nai with 2 underscores, Princess Nai 2 underscores. You can see my work there. My work speaks for itself. So women are welcome. Men, tell your girl to come to me. I do male manicures as well. So men, you can come get your nails manicured because men need their nails manicured. Right? Yes.
I gotta do mine.
Because your girl doesn't want you touching her with your raggedy hands, your nasty hands. You've been working hard all day. You need to get your nails done. So
I gotta come visit you.
Yeah, like she can't have her nails $1 million nails and then you looking like raggedy, homeless, ew. So you need to come to me. It's a nice luxury.
Be nice it's always,
well, I'm just letting you know, when you see what you started and how you ended, you're gonna be like, I can't believe I was walking around like that, and I can't believe my girl
good.
Let her touch me.
You feel really good when you do your nails. Like whenever I get my nails done, I feel like an angel. I feel different. I don't want to move.
You feel like
I move different.
A baddie.
Yeah,
like you're like wow, like I'm really that guy.
I'm that guy,
Yeah, like so even the men appreciate it. So yeah, men, tell your girl to come. It could be like a his and hers thing. It can be like a little date. You guys get your nails done. Oh, wow. And the men, it's a luxury manicure.
You should have a package like that.
I was gonna do that for Valentine's Day. Oh. Yeah, like his and hers. That's cute. Because I was gonna do a Mother's Day.
Guys doing their nail, like getting their nail, like cleaning their nails.
Yeah, of course.
That energy,
And it's better than what you get at the nail salon. It's like a volcano, like luxury nail thing. It's like a 5-step thing. I do a scrub.
I'm coming.
Yeah, you gotta come because Tenny.
Your mom's wedding is this Saturday, so I gotta get my nails done before that. So
all right,
probably book an appointment on Friday with you.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me know.
Yes. Oh, so we've come to the end of today's episode.
It's been so fun.
I told you, right? You would enjoy it.
I was nervous at first, and I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm at home. I don't want to leave.
Yep.
So what else do you want to ask me?
Oh, I know, right? You got a client at 6, so we gotta end this so you can go get that bread. But hey, this is your home. If you want to come again, you get right. You have friends or you got something to talk about. I'm always here for us to have a podcast. I would love to host you again. Energy was amazing. So much for say today. Guys, thank you so much for, spending this time with us and also for, supporting her, following her, booking those appointments. I know you guys will not let me down, okay? So someday we're going to have a discount code, okay? You come with a podcast, you're going to get a little discount when you go get your nails done with her.
And we got to do our collab with your personal training. We still got to do that.
No.
Nails, personal training.
I'm coming with a Saturday something where work out the nails you get, right? Because I train a lot of females. So after the workout, they get their nails done and then they can go or something like that.
Yes, because we were trying to do it for Mother's Day, but we kind of missed the mark.
Yeah,
it's okay. We'll redo it.
We came after Mother's Day and thought about it, but at that point, it wasn't going to make. But, we still have I have female clients. I work with a lot of female clients.
And there's so many holidays. We could do it whenever. So we'll figure it out. Yes. You're going to see a collab coming.
More collabs to come, not just the podcast, okay? Yeah. We're going to come in at Friday, I'll be at your place.
Period.
So, guys, have an amazing week. Thank you so much for listening. I love you guys so much, and God bless. Peace.
Bye.